What is going on, y'all? You know what it is. It is Sunday night. You know what it is. Sipping on Sundays, the two Mississippi guys going on at it, man. Going to talk a little bit about what's going on. Hold on.
Oh, good water.
You know what? Let's see what see, this is what happens, though, when you have everything set up live and ready to go. You have a little commercial that plays on the screen. So there we go. All right, we're good on that. Apologize for that, guys. But anyway, we're back. Me and Zoe, Sunday night, Mississippi guys ready to roll, man. So,
Yeah, man.
you know, I always got a question for you. What you sipping on this Sunday night?
Who we trying to get to sponsor us, man? Good old cut water.
You know what I'm saying? See, Zoe, you know what I like about that? I like the consistency. You know what I mean? I like the consistency. So what we're going to have to do is I'm going to have to put a proposal together. Because, see, like I tell people, man, this is sipping on Sundays. It has, you know, double entendre. You know what I'm saying? We sipping on something. So we looking for any liquor company, you know, energy drink, anybody that has something to drink, water. You know, Aquafina, you know what I'm saying? We don't care.
Hey, man. Yeah.
But it's also the two guys from Mississippi. You know what I'm saying, man? That know a little bit about sports. You know, do a little bit of sports sex. So, man, listen, we got a really good show for you guys, man. I tell you what, one of the things, you know, we got to talk about something that's Mississippi centric right off the bat. So, and I saw this, man, and I think people went wild about it. And we're going to get right on into the show. So, Mississippi Valley, the Delta Devils beat Texas Southern.
Broke a long streak, man.
I broke a very long streak on a play that didn't make any sense. I'm going to share this screen, and we're going to play this. And God bless the kid that lost the ball. He was a senior because I had to check. And I'm like, man, is this kid a freshman? But just want to break this down and let everybody take a look at this because this was wild right here. Let's see. There we go. Sharing our screen right now. Let me make that a little bit bigger for everybody. So as you can see, 7.5 seconds left. Texas Southern up by 1. Mississippi Valley. Texas Southern is about to inbound the ball. And you know what? This is what happens.
Basketball into the protocol. Going to get it in. True. Valley going to steal it. Catch it. Score it. And that's the basketball game. They just threw it.
Now the game's not over yet.
That's good. Wow. Are they saying this is the basketball game? That's what the question is now.
They're going to put 1.7 back on.
Is this the re? Free throw line.
So I'm going to go back to this kid.
Runner off the backboard.
Now, this is what didn't make any sense to me.
That was all coaching, man.
So here's the thing. Right here, when the kid gets the ball right here. Now, mind you, it's 4.8 seconds. If he just holds the ball right here, if he just holds the ball,
go free throw line.
Go through the free throw line, game over.
Yep.
If he dribbles out this way, which would be to his right, with all this overhead, and he's got a guy flashing in the middle, right there. If the guy just dribbles to his right, he's got a guy wide open.
He don't even have to pass the ball. My thing is make the move saying, hey, I'm going to get my two free throws and let that be it. Let that be it.
And he holds it. And I mean, great play by, I think that's number 11, who gets the ball scrambling. And then the other guy with the wherewithal to put that ball up.
Steal it, catch it, score it.
And man, you know, as a guy that loves basketball, man, I was like, this right here was just wild. And like they said, Valley had beat Texas Southern in a long time. So, man, I was just like, so
I think it was 28 straight games, I think.
Exactly. So to see this play and to see a kid that's a senior to make this play, and again, I'm just going to, this is just something what they talk about. And again, all he had to do, like you said, dribble, hold, fire. Game over. And this is the thing now, I'm going to pull up. Let me tell you why this is so important for Texas Southern. Because this is something I want to show the SWAC standards, which is really, and I don't think people don't understand how close the basketball standards are for the men. And I'm going to show this because this is why that game is going to be so important, because it's really about matchups. And I'm going to show the standards right now. And here we go. So Texas Southern, with that loss, can you see that real clear zone?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Texas Southern, with that loss, they were tied for second. Mm-hmm. And now they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They are seventh. Now, mind you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The top 6 teams get a double bye. So they're all outside looking at the double bye. That means they have to be one of the first teams to play 2 games before they get to the double bye. That's how big that loss is right there. That they might not be able to make up. And with what we got, one more week of the season left.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
One more week, and you're talking about a loss to Valley, who again.
So when we added FAMU and Bethune-Cookman, we actually went to an 18-game conference schedule. So everybody only has basically 3 games left. Right. And here's the thing: you mentioned 7th place. Well, here's the conundrum. So Bethune-Cookman sits in first place. Southern is alone in 2nd place. You have Alabama A&M and UAPB tied for 3rd. You have Jackson State sitting alone at 4th. I know Jackson State and FAMU have the same number of wins, but Jackson State's alone at 4th because they only have 6 losses. They haven't made up that game just yet as it stands now. And then you have FAMU and Texas Southern tied at 5th place. Right. And then Texas Southern has Alcorn at home, Alcorn at home, Jackson State at home, and then it fits with Prairie View at home. So they got 3 tough games coming down the stretch here.
That can move them up or down. But right now, like you say, I'm just looking at the standings and talking about why you got to be in the top 6 in this conference.
Well, I was going to say that Alcorn game next week is going to be huge because look where they sit. Alcorn is right behind Texas Southern. They're trying to leapfrog them. They could gain a whole game just by beating them. So with Texas Southern magic number is 2. They have to win 2 of the next 3 games.
3 games.
If they don't, and they come out with 2 losses, depending on what Alcorn does. If Alcorn wins, I have to look at who Alcorn has after that. But if Alcorn wins, man, Texas Southern gonna be in trouble.
and you always got to love the front of Ryan Mick said PvP majority Texas Southern lost immediately immensely. Hey, listen, as somebody who has gotten heartbroken by Valley, Texas Southern, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Family people feel your pain. But this is why, again, you can't take for granted any game. And again, why, and Coach Ward, he came on the 220 Club and talked about we played the Alabama schools and we split 1-1 with the Alabama schools. We lost to Alabama A&M, but beat Alabama State. But why that was so important, because that double bye in the tournament is just so important, because you're just not going to go in front of the bottom and run the tape. It's just not going to happen.
And I was going to say, and the other part of that, Steve, to your point, the real reason why the double bye is important in the SWAC conference is because, unlike so many other conferences in the landscape, the parity that's within the SWAC, I mean, you can have, a lowly seed team that can actually win this thing. There is no clear-cut, winner. Bethune-Cookman's having a great season, but, they aren't unscathed. And, look, you got a legit 7 teams that can win this. That can win the conference.
I agree with that. But with that being said, and this is what I'm talking about. So if Texas Southern falls, and can Texas Southern run the table? Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, once again, it's about attrition. And while you're playing those first 2 games, and then you got to play a couple more compared to everybody else, that's why I think it catches up to you, because I don't think nobody really goes 9 or 10 deep in this conference. We just don't. So that's the reason why when I saw that, I was just like, wow, man, that is just huge. What's going on in that. So, again, basketball, I think everybody needs to check out basketball. It's been a lot of great games. We're coming now to the final weeks of the season. I think the tournament here in Atlanta is going to be amazing. Like you said, Bethune-Cookman has shown to be the class of the conference. But guess what, Zoe? Bethune-Cookman came to Jackson, Mississippi. Was that Monday, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
Fort Center down there, David Dennis Jr., his father, David Dennis, who I actually know, outstanding. If you guys didn't see that, man, shout out to Jackson State. Shout out to the Dennis family for that interview and who his father was and how immensely important he was to the civil rights movement in the state of Mississippi. But the fact of what, I think you guys didn't play around. And I think Bethune-Cookman really came in that game, shot with the juice that you guys had. And I think that had a lot to do with all the energy that was on that campus that weekend on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
man,
and Ruffin and that kid, who was the kid that was the freshman of the year last year for you guys? They hit that big shot as he put him.
Dorian McMillan.
Hey, listen, when you got kids that can go get buckets like that, that's when you can make runs. And that was the thing about it, to your point, Zoe, when you're looking at as a Jackson State, when you got basically you got the conference player of the year. You can put him on your back. He can go get 30. He can go get 40 in a winner take all game. So to your point, I totally agree with you when you said that. Looking at who can win this conference. But for Texas Southern, I mean, that's just a win. You just got to win that. You just got to win that.
Yeah. So it should be an exciting tournament, man. Like I said, it's up for grabs. You got a legit 7 teams that can go get it. So it's going to be an exciting tournament.
All right. Now, Zoe, I'm going to move on to something that you were featured in. So, I don't know how many people, I saw, Michael Vick had, his Coach Prime, the Michael Vick experience. I said, I'm really not going to watch that, right? I'm really not going to watch that. But something happens, though, that made me, because they're on their 3rd episode, and so I'm going to show you something that I just happened to see. And I want you to take a look at it and tell me what you think about this. Give me 1 second here. Mm-hmm. Let me make sure this is the right one. Yep, that should be it. Wait a minute. Let's see. Is this one it? I don't think that's it. Hold on. So, no. Give me 1 second. Where's my tab at? Because this was pretty interesting when I saw this. And I want to get your comment on something. Hold on 1 second. Let me close one thing out. That's what it is. I might have too many tabs open. Let's see if that does it.
If somebody from Coldwater watch, you try to come to the thing.
Hold on, Zoe. Hold on 1 second. I don't know why this thing. Let me move this up a little bit. It's not pulling up, and I can see it.
What's up, Edwin? And look, watch Steve pull it up, man. Everybody in the chat, man. Post where you tuning in from, man.
Here we go.
Everybody post where they tuning in from.
All right, here we go, Zoe. So this is episode 3. The Coach Vick experience. And what do I see here?
Michael Vick, now 1-1 as head coach.
Capturing history at Norfolk State for this Michael Vick era.
They come out and they pull out the end.
You don't make the switch over the auto. You're 0-2. Who knows how that game could have went? Thank you, Jesus.
Let me run that back.
This Michael Vick era.
They come out and they pull out the end.
You don't make the switch over the auto. You're 0-2. Who knows how that game could have went? Thank you, Jesus.
Now, so I got a question. First of all, did you and Scotty get a check?
Nah, man.
I just want to know. Did anybody contact?
Nah, man, we get no check. But I tell you what, it was a whole lot of truth telling though.
But now, see, I'm glad you said that. Because see, now I'm going to play something else because this is what I want to get into. Because see, so you have a saying. So what is your saying? If you tell somebody something,
hey man, if I tell you a mosquito can pull a wagon, don't ask me no questions. You better hook his ass up.
hey man, well listen, we're gonna talk about this wagon because Michael Vick apparently didn't listen to you, but his brother did. So hold on here. Let's see here. Here we go. And this is Mike Vick. Again, so the first part of the season, you know, he's getting there and stuff like that. So here's where he has a young man named Izzy that he knows, and Otto Cruz has been there, have been the starter, and now he's going to talk about who he's got to start.
I know you're a competitor. I know what this moment means to you. They could have went either way, but got to wait your turn.
He beat me out.
You see what I'm saying?
Fair opportunity to start, but
yeah, you got a fair opportunity. The tape don't lie. You take on this role, it's being a quality backup. It's all in how you handle it.
I don't got nothing against Izzy. Love the kid, but it's not gonna whoop his ass. I can't lie to you.
I know the quarterback position.
I would have got this situation in the spring or the summer. I could have made this shit for myself. Now I'm kind of like, well, shit.
Well, it's a difficult situation. You just got to trust the process, man. All right? Otto competed. He competed hard. I know what I'm looking for. That being said, I got to go with the younger guy that we can develop in. I got to look towards the future.
What happened, man? No about that? Got you.
I ain't babysitting nobody. From now moving forward, the season is in. It's on. There's so much hype around the game.
Now,
I'm gonna say this. It's amazing what you can do when you chop something up, right? Because let's go back in time. You go into that first game with a young man starting the quarterback. And remember, you know, I guess you go say, hey, everybody start with a fair slate, but we're not gonna sit here and act like Vic didn't say, I knew this kid since he was in high school. So we're not gonna act like that didn't play a part into the decision, because Otto, who had snaps and had good games, you know, ahead of time, you know what I'm saying, that should have weighed in his favor. But again, new coach, I want to see where it is. It may be easy to show something in practice, and that's fine. But once the games got to being played, bro, this is where that clip doesn't do Mike Vick any favors. Because when the games got to getting played, if you remember, the other kid was stinking up the joint. Then Otto came in, put up number. And honestly, it was a few games that, I think 2 games, if I'm not mistaken, had Otto started those games, probably would have won. Because the deficit sometime when he came in, it was too much to overcome. You know, and again, you gave this kid, because you knew him, because you want to label it as we playing for the future. And I want to talk about that too, because coaches can't use that idiom anymore about playing for the future, because everything and everybody is year to year. You don't even have a future, even though you got that deal. You don't. So everything is week to week. And what do we always say? Put us in a position to win this game. And if you've seen after 2 or 3 weeks, Steve, hey, this kid ain't got it. We got to roll with Otto. We'll do something in regards to get with him in the spring. Because guess what? He got more time to develop, per se, if he's still gonna be there. But man, we gotta win this. We gotta salvage this season in some shape, form, or fashion. And Otto present that to you, man, week after week after week after week, and you still kept putting that freshman in there. And it was Otto's last year.
Right.
So again, we got to go with experience as well. This Otto had more snaps under his belt. And again, what it showed to me was Vic's inexperience as a coach in making that decision. And it showed a lot of things, because again, later on in the season, I think after week 6 or week 7, you fire 3 or 4 offensive coaches, making some changes. So, and we're talking about a first time in his first year head coach. So again, a lot can be removed and escapulated from that video.
But hold on. So I'm gonna play you this next clip which again I thought was fascinating. And I want you to listen to this. And this is Mike Vick's brother, Marcus Vick.
Marcus.
And I want you to listen to what Marcus has to say.
Sometimes we be ready to put the gloves on. But, man, I love him to death. And when Mark come to me and tell me something, I know I need to hear it.
Oh, and drop that shit.
As a quarterback, my opinion on Izzy is he's a good kid.
Step up.
But when it comes down to playing ball, we want to see the chains get moved. We want to see first downs.
This is him. What you looking at?
I just feel like right now, everything's kind of happening too fast for him. Otto is a fifth-year senior. Hey, look, the first game in Townsend, we had 2 wide receivers with 100-plus yards. So that's enough said on its own, especially when the starting quarterback, Izzy, went 3 and out 3 or 4 different drives. One of my brother's weaknesses is that him and Izzy got a super close relationship.
Back shoulder, you got to practice that with your receivers after practice. You know what I'm saying?
All right, hold on. I'm going to keep this going. But did you hear what he said there? I'm going to keep it rolling. This part of this show was fascinating to me. And I'm going to talk about why.
Transparency.
When he have a close-knit relationship with someone, you know, he hold it to dear heart.
Good job, Israel.
I want to see him be successful with this. Don't let his relationships with certain players hinder what's right for the team.
I want to get 10 touchdowns. You get to do it with me. To be coaching my son, it's a blessing.
I'm trying to get somebody else.
Now, Zone, I've got another clip I'm going to play. What do you think about what Marcus Vick said there?
I mean, I kind of said it right before you played the video. I'm just saying, man. I mean, it reared his head. And that's why I say that video doesn't do him well, because you saw it during the season. You saw it. Man, if he didn't start that kid, they probably win, I know, at least another 2 games. I can't remember it right off top, but I remember it was specifically because me and Scotty talked about it in real time. Like, dude, Otto came in like late in the 3rd quarter, threw a couple of touchdowns, really got you into the game and in contention to win the game. And had you played him, you know what I'm saying, the whole entire time, because Izzy was sticking up the joint. It wasn't like he was struggling, dog. He was bad. And you keep saying, I'm playing for the future. Man, game after game after game, and you're losing.
So that ties into the last part I want to show. When, as they say, the rubber met the road. Right here. So this is that Virginia Union game. And this is Mike Vick. And it's
Don't lose. Don't lose. One play at a time, one drive at a time.
For the 2nd week in a row, here comes Otto Coombs to spell Izzy Carter.
Come on, Otto.
They put me in. Let's roll. We got to come back to make. Let's do it.
Shallow.
Coombs drops back, takes off, and he will break free for a first down.
We'll work on that, baby. It's way to extend that play.
Coombs looking for J.J. Evans and hits Card for a touchdown.
Coming back to win this thing.
Getting the Spartans right back in the ball game. Coombs looking for the end zone. Complete to Dre Kendrick.
It was a tough catch, but that's what I want to be for this team. Somebody they can look to, because you never know what's going to happen.
He just made his dad proud.
Keep believing. Keep believing.
The Spartans have taken the lead. Now, can the defense get a stop? Matthews tosses it to Smith, who breaks free, and he will score, putting the Trojans back ahead.
Shit. Damn.
Guy went around and told the starting line, like, it wasn't the end of the world. We need a touchdown. Let's go.
Well, the Spartans offense back on the field with under 2 minutes left.
I'm about to have a freaking heart attack. My heart is tight up in my chest. Oh, we need a win.
We got plenty of time. Let's make a play.
Coach on the run. He stripped and recovers his own football for a loss.
Oh, my God.
That will bring up 4th down. 4th quarter. Time running out. 4th and 9. Spartans have to make it or the game is over. This is it.
Come on.
Back to pass. Coombs throws a dart to Trayshawn Kendrick, and it's complete. Trayshawn will keep the game going for Norfolk State. Laudermill breaks free, looking for the end zone. and he gets there. It's a touchdown, and the Spartans tie the ball game. Let's play more football.
So one more game play to win the game.
The Trojans win the toss, and they elect to get the ball first.
All right, baby, let's finish. Let's go. Let's finish.
This brought down. Now the Trojans will go for it. Matthews back to pass. And it's broken up by Makai Frisbee. And the Spartans will get the football, only needing 3 to win.
This is the game right here. This is the game right here, baby.
Coombs on the keeper, runs down to the 17-yard line, and he's got the Spartans inside the 13.
Go down, Otto.
That'll set up a chance for the Spartans to win the game with a field goal. It all comes down to the right leg of Evan Helfrich. He missed a big one last week, but can he win the game today for the Spartans? The snap is down. Helfrich's kick. It's good, and the Spartans win. The first victory.
And then he literally came after that, going to overtime, get your first win, and come right back and go to easy.
It was fascinating, and I didn't want to belabor this because we could do a whole hour show on this of him and Otto, Michael Vick, and Otto talking, and Otto just frustrated. Literally basically walked the practice field and things like that. When it was obvious, like Otto said, man, I'm smoking this kid. I know, and not only that, you could see. This is the thing about it, and the only reason why I'm making this point is because this is going to tie in again, because we always like to have a little bit of Mississippi Central. When you have a kid that's been there, and your players believe in you, and they follow their leader, guess what? They make plays at. That's the reason why Jacoby Morgan, you got brought Jacoby Morgan back. So players are going to follow. Nothing against Lockhart being he's going to be great. But when people have went to war with you, there's a level of confidence that everybody from the coaches, the players, the cheerleaders, the band, the people in the stands believe that you're going to make a play. And I think that was one of the things that Michael Vick, and I think he'll probably learn that you got to just coach. You cannot sit back. And his own brother, that's why I'm saying it's not us, and I don't want nobody calling us saying what we said. His brother said it on their show. They used a clip of you unauthorized to Scotty. So that, and I'm teasing, no big problem. Like I said, I'm just joking about that. Scotty's cool with it. Zoe's cool with it. So we're just joking. But I think that's important because you guys talked about this during the season.
And let me say this too. And let me say this too, man. People, look, I know, man, we're all fans of our own institutions, but man, at least when Scotty and I get up, we talk. It's straight ball. It's just our straight regular opinion. And just because we say something, even if it's against your school, or even if it's Jackson State, you know what I'm saying, or you're a school, I understand you got school pride and you're going to see it for what it is with your school color glasses on, but you got to understand that right there was clear as day. And, some people from Norfolk, was saying it at the time, right? Oh, we're crazy. We don't see. I'm like, man, it's clear as day. It was like, man, once we saw the way it was, because remember, now you got to go back to it. It was just like Marshal Faulk, you know what I'm saying? Michael Vick, there was a detachment there. Wasn't really repping Norfolk State, wasn't around. There was no Norfolk gear. You didn't really know he was Norfolk State coach. All you heard was the press release, right, when it first came out. But outside of that, it was nothing Norfolk. Then you go into that first game, and they laid an egg. You know what I'm saying? Then they come into the second or third game with Virginia State, which they pulled out. And again, it was like, we saw it. We was like, man, how did this guy even win the job? Otto was a proven commodity. Now, granted, he may not have had this great team success, but like from an individual player and stats and his productivity, Otto was something that you could build on, especially within your first year. And most coaches go with the experience. But again, to sit here and say that you didn't let this personal relationship with this kid play into it, again, his own brother even said it. So we're not hating when we say what we say, man. It's just we call it how we see it. Now, just because you don't agree, then that's cool. You don't have to agree. Everybody's not going to agree with everything, but that right there is in black and white, and we called it exactly what it was, and his own brother even co-signed it.
And that's the thing, man. I'm going to tell you this. I understand again, and somebody pointed out, of course, this is so Deion, you know what I'm saying? How this whole thing and how they film and stuff like that. We saw it with the Coach Prime video, but this is my thing. And I don't have any problem promoting university stuff like that. But this is the reason why I don't like these documentaries, right? Because I think there's some things that are private matters, right? Between a coach and a player, players being frustrated and stuff like that. And depending on how it gets clipped up. And for Otto, I just think the way they painted him early was like, oh, he was pounding, he wanted to be a team player. He wanted to, but Otto was like, man, I'm out here competing. And I believe I should be the best guy. I don't think there's anything wrong with a player feeling that way. But I think it's not fair to him that it's got put on camera. And then what happens in the end, because they went 1-10, right? They went 1-10, right? I believe.
They went 2-9, I think.
2. Let's see. Why are we doing that? Because
I think 2-9. I'll pull it up. Hold on.
Yeah. And then, yeah. Now, you're right. It's two things going on. You're right, and it is compelling, but there's also the other side of it, which we're sitting there and analyzing it, looking at, and this was Zoe and Scotty real time watching it. Scotty was doing a show with the Norfolk guys every week, and we were all watching these games real time. And they were
1-11, Steve. 1-11.
Thank you, regular Chief and Thomas and all that. What they were this was the only win they got. But to me, this started, to your point, when they played Townsend, when they should have got that victory and getting confidence to roll into the season. And that's why I think a lot of it, has to be, I think with people, and this is going to tie into our next thing. Coaching is not easy, man. Coaching is not easy. And when you're hiring a guy, and clearly they hire, and which again, I have no problem why Norfolk hired Michael Vick. Listen, they've made a whole lot of money. And I think there was going to be a learning curve. But coaching is not easy. And I think what Michael Vick has learned really quickly, that he has got to be meticulous on who he hires in his staff. Because one of the things that he talked about was that a lot of people that he hired, which I think people always hire people that they're comfortable with. No problem with that. But I think also when we're at a state, there are so many outstanding coaches. Sometimes you got to just go get a guy because somebody referred you that you trust. Say, hey, man, you need to hire this guy because he's a great DC. And you don't know him. But you have trust in those people that mentor you, that you hire a guy. And I think what happened with this Norfolk State team is that he hired a lot of guys I think were friends of his, but just were not had the coaching ability that Norfolk State did, because they had talent on their squad. Definitely have more talent to be 1-11. And that's the thing.
I had just pulled it up. I was trying to remember it. So the first game of the season, they lost to Towson 7-27. Then they played Virginia State the second game of the season, but they won overtime. The next week they played Rutgers. It was a blowout. But then the next two games, right, when they play Rutgers, at that point they're 1-2. They lost to Sacred Heart. That was the game they should have won, 28-31. Otto brought them back in that game. Then you look at the next game, it was Wagner. They lost 13-18. Had Otto started, they would have won the game. If they beat Wagner and Sacred Heart, bro, they're 3-2. Get ready to go and play Hampton. Lost to Hampton by a touchdown. Then you go, they play Wofford. Then they got shut by South Carolina State. But remember, they played a winnable game against Delaware State on that Thursday night in Philadelphia. And then they followed up the next week by playing North Carolina Central, losing to them by 3 points. So honestly, it wasn't out the realm where they went 1-11. They could have ended 5-7.
Yeah.
5-7 with a makeshift thing for him would have been a week, because if you're pushing the break even at 6-6 for a first-time head coach, that's a win. That's a win.
No, I agree.
But again, his inexperience shows, and that's why more than the players and the lack of talent that they actually have and continuity and all that, inexperience showed his head, and I think that played more of a role into that 1-11 season.
And EA hit it right on the head. But see, this is the thing, EA, what my thing, which I think Deion did a good job, and I think we'll see what happens with Marshal Faulk. But you know people in the industry that you should sit back and say, hey, you know what? Who do you think I should hire? Let me talk to people. Deshaun Jackson, now guess what? He had Travis Clark right down the side of him, but he didn't know Nemo Williams. He said it. Nemo came on.
Referred.
Referred. So this happens all the time when people get referrals, especially to me, when you guys got like Michael Vick, that you would want to get coaches that have that level of experience. Because again, you are Michael Vick. You're going to bring all the pomp and circumstance and things like that. Got 40-some thousand people that paid what $50 just to walk around the grounds of the stadium that they got paid. But again, there's nothing wrong that you say, you know what, this is the first time in it. But the crazy thing about it, and I'm gonna keep going back to it, his brother saw it. His brother is sitting in the stand, who is also a quarterback, right? Who is watching just like his brother. And like I say, man, when you play, one thing about it, and I always give respect to people, when you play the game, there are things that you see that the layperson just doesn't see, especially at practice. Because it was so funny. Cam Jordan, which we'll talk about the Legacy Bowl in a little while. Cam Jordan was up in the press box talking to the guys, right? Steve Weiss and Bucky Brooks and Charles Davis. And he was making analysis about Quincy Ivory, about the kid from Grambling, just things because he's a defensive lineman that he saw. Immediately, he was like, this kid from Grambling's got X. Quincy Ivory's got, I can do. He said some of those guys, I can make them into NFL players in 2 years. My point of it is that's the reason why Marcus Vick saw immediately separated that he needs to go with Otto. And I think that's what the thing about it was interesting about that. You know, so I it's gonna be interesting now, Zoe, because of you and Scotty. Now I gotta watch the whole thing now. You know what I mean? Because now I'm sucked in.
Hey,
I wasn't gonna watch it.
I just need them to tune in this upcoming season and clip us for next year.
Hey, listen, Mike, you know, I met you before, did a bit. Hey, man, we love what you're doing and stuff like that. But it's you put the show out there, bro. You put the show out there. You put my boys on there. So we just had, and again, I saw that. And like I say, Hutch hit it right on there. They did it for the drama, right? So you bring Otto in, and this would tickle me. What's the difference between closing the door and you still can hear what they got to say? That was the funny thing about it. You know what I mean to me? Well, no cameras. We don't want any cameras. But I literally am hearing what you're telling to do. I was like, okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So yeah. So listen. And it looks like, yeah. Let me tell you something. We're going to get into Legacy Bowl because Blue's going to come on because Blue was down there. Again, I watched the game. I took some really detailed notes. We're going to do that last. But I'm going to go to something, Zoe. You know, we touched on this last week on Sippin on Sundays, which right here on the Offscript channel, right here on the Rocky Mill channel, home HBCU Coach's Corner, home with Zoe Phillips and myself on a Sunday night. We talk about some of the talk, Zoe, that was going on with Marshal Faulk. And, you know, all on social media, I started seeing, was he committed and was he doing enough? Well, Zoe, you know, we have a good friend. And I will say this again, Perry White in this space. And I think what people need to understand, Perry works at Southern, works with Southern. Perry is the host of the Jaguar Journal. Perry is not just some podcaster.
He's the Steve Harvey at Southern. He got every video job at Southern.
So as Perry was saying, we're going to pull this up. And Perry said, Perry graduated from Southern. So he made a comment that went viral about he didn't feel, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm going to let Perry, we're going to play Perry's second part of this, that Marshal Faulk was not doing enough to promote the program. And this thing here went viral. Everybody's talking about it. So this is Perry White talking about how this is going viral. We're going to set this up, and I'm streaming it. So, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to play a little bit of this. I'm going to forward it, and I'm going to play the second half of Perry because I want you to get the whole gist of it, and Zoe and I'll talk about it on the other side. Make that screen big. Very nice and big.
We are gardeners.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Hello.
And they got, of course, they got ads.
Sure. You want me to help you with your groceries?
You two got to get their money.
To you. The data.
Hold on 1 second here. Let's get Perry nice and big here.
Close that chat box.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, let's back this up just a little bit.
One out against the Jaguars, 56-54, a 5-second violation. Now, let's go back on the men's side. Still in the fight, but Southern is lost today's matchup. Southern, and it is.
Commercial break.
Oh, yeah, it rolled it back. Hold on a second. Yeah, I know where it's at. It rolled it back.
Us the way we are committed to him.
Okay, hold on. This should be right here.
Follow, keep up with us. We're growing. We're not just a radio show here in Baton. We're not just also, we're the longest continuous radio show in the state of Louisiana. So let's make sure we get that understood. But nonetheless, you guys know what we do here. We keep you up to date with what's going on, not only at Southern University, but the community and everything as a whole. Now, to the big story, the big topic, as you see, even in the bio, I mean, in the title and everything else. Question Marshal Faulk's pride here at Southern University, his Jaguar pride, not his pride as a man, not his pride as a coach, not his pride as an NFL player, his pride as a Jaguar, because I'm full of Jaguar pride. And anybody knows that. Everybody knows that. And if you didn't, now you know. But for me, of course, if you didn't know, I went viral this week because I questioned what I thought from my observation looking at Coach Faulk since his presence has been here, since he was named the week before the SWAC championship back in December, early December, and here we are in February getting ready to go into March. I questioned what was his commitment to Southern University. And when I say his commitment, how committed is he to us the way we are committed to him? Now, you'll be surprised how many phone calls and texts and DMs and inbox messages that I get all the time from people all across the country that reach out to me and talk to me and express how they feel. So a lot of times before I bring things to this show, it's because I've got a great enough sample size from listening to the people of the Jaguar Nation that have expressed things to me to where I said, all right, this is finally to a point where I'm going to talk about this publicly because I realize it's just not Perry. And people think it's just Perry. It's just you, Perry, going on there speaking, saying whatever, stirring up, causing problems. I'm not here to stir up and cause problems. I'm here to create change for the better. I'm here to market and promote and brand for the better. Haven't I done that? Sometimes you guys listen to what you want to listen to, but I keep coaches on this show promoting their brand and their programs nonstop. Even the programs that you may not support. You may not be going to a softball game, but I'll be damn sure to make sure I have softball on here on this show to promote them and try to find ways to.
All right, now hold on. I'm going to forward it to Perry because he started talking a little bit about softball. So hold on one second. Let me get to the next part of this.
Understand coaching is big. It's whoever the guy is that's behind that page. Guess 96. There's a whole new world on how you have to go out here and market this. Once again, I talked about it, visibility. And y'all act like I asked for a lot for somebody to wear some paraphernalia, for somebody to just put us in their bio and share a schedule or whatever else and to show up at events. Oh, I got the whole world trying to give me every excuse out the wazoo. Okay, maybe he did go do interviews, and I saw the interviews that he did out there. But let me tell you something when it comes to Marshal Faulk doing interviews. Don't nobody want to talk to Marshal Faulk about Southern University. They want to talk to Marshal Faulk about Marshal Faulk being the NFL Hall of Famer and the famous celebrity football player.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want to talk about. It's their one shining moment to sit down and talk to a guy with that much status, arguably one of the greatest running backs to ever play in the National Football League. Huge fan of Marshal Faulk. I am. But you better believe when people get an opportunity, they're going to say, hey, yeah, I know you the coach at Southern, XYZ. Then they're going to move on. Man, what was it like to be, the greatest show on turf? What was it like to play with Kurt Warner? What was it like to transition the game, to be that dual threat out of the backfield, to be that, that receiver, that running back? What was that? They want to talk about the bright lights, his career. That's what's important. That's what has gotten him where he is to be the big celebrity that obviously had to go to California to the Super Bowl on behalf of who? The NFL, not Southern University. But while they're talking to him, because they're going to give Southern the short end of the stick. Yeah, I know you're coaching down their house thing. All right, now let's go to your career. Well, when they switch over, it's important to have on gear because although I'm not talking about Southern University, it's still on me. I just want y'all to understand there's a method to the madness. For those of you who do not think social media is important, to hell with you because you're stuck in 1996. You don't get it. I just showed you being Perry White on social media and it's gone viral, got everybody talking. Not about me, but about Southern. I'm not looking for clicks. I'm not looking for attention. I'm looking for marketing and promoting the brand. And guess what? It's provided other opportunities for people to create conversations and try to push their initiative on the brand in which I pushed out there because they not getting no traction. That's just how it works.
All right. That's our brother Perry White. Folks was upset about this.
I don't know why.
And I am totally mind blown.
I don't know why.
Why anybody would be upset. Because see, here's the thing. I got a phone call from a guy that I really respect, right? HBCU guy. And he said, hey, Mr. Campbell, you know, I see y'all going to do the show tonight. And, you know, we're in this chat and everything. But they didn't hire Marshal Faulk to be a cheerleader. I'm like, they absolutely did hire Marshal Faulk to be a cheerleader.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that they said that because I love semantics and he's right. But he's not a cheerleader. He's the damn head football coach at Southern. And I would be remiss. Look, I'm going to do something that y'all probably won't ever see me do again. Forget that I got this navy blue on, that I got this J on my hat. It's a little cat right here that's waving today, but it's yellow. So we're going to we're going to act like it's a Jaguar because for the purposes of this topic, I'm a Southernite for the moment. And I'm going to talk to all the rest of you beige Southernites out there. Marshal Faulk is doing Southern University a grave disservice until these games get played. From the moment that he's been announced as the head coach to this present day in the year of our Lord 2026, he has failed at his job. He's failed immensely. If any Southernite or I forgot the guy's name, Tony Clayton, could hear my voice, I would tell him it would behoove you to have a contingency plan in place. Because he pretty much letting you know he don't give a damn about Southern. I will say this, and y'all can clip this, and I'm not even gonna miss my words. Do you think for any second that if Marshal Faulk accepted the head coaching job of a PWI, he would move the same nature that he's moving right now? Do you? You all know he wouldn't. If he got announced as the head coach at any PWI, he would not be moving in the same nature in which he's moving right now. It's a slap in the face. And I'm gonna say this too. Southern did him a great service by hiring him. Nobody else was gonna hire him as the head coach with his track record as a coach. No one else will. And this is how you return the favor. See, my thing is, my mom always told me, I don't want nobody that don't want me. Now, you say he wanted, you could accept the job, but I see better than I hear. Because you know the best thing to show, the best thing to prove something is to show it day in and day out. And what have you seen since he's been announced the head coach? It's like what we said about Michael Vick going into last year. You don't see him with no baby blue and gold on nowhere. He doesn't have Southern. Right now, he's not even tied to Southern. The only thing that you know because they had a press conference. If you go on any type of social media, there's nothing affiliated with Southern University and Marshal Faulk in the same sentence. Say whatever you want. The moment Deion Sanders was announced the head coach of Jackson State, it was a marriage. Matter of fact, Steve, there was a graphic that Jackson State put out, right? And Prime, right? With all his marketing prowess. It had the Prime logo, had an X, and then it had the block JSU.
Yes,
it was a marriage. Literally, the moment that Prime got announced that he was the head coach, it was JSU everywhere. It was Prime and JSU everywhere. Matter of fact, do you remember the press conference? I ain't just JSU on the outside. I'm JSU on the inside.
On the inside.
Right?
The Bulls coordinated, my man said. The Bulls coordinated.
And proceeded to drop content every now and then. We're not saying that you got to move like Prime, but damn it, act like you want to be there. Show that you want to be there. You got to recruit. You got a recruiting signing day event, and the head coach ain't there. That's blasphemous, dog. That's sacrilegious. That's sacrilegious. Oh, my thing is, okay, cool. You miss it because you got some Super Bowl things that you're going to. What a prime opportunity. Because if I'm on NFL Network, anything that I do is Marshal Faulk. That's how you leverage Southern. Oh man, I'm there as Marshal Faulk, but I got my issue hat on. I got baby blue and gold on. Because anytime from this moment forward, the moment we had a press conference, whenever you see me, you're gonna see SU. Matter of fact, I'm going everywhere with that chant that I hate. SU. Everywhere. He's doing Southern a disservice. Let me tell you, man, you're not about to piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. You're not about to do it. I've seen Curtis Johnson affiliated more so with Southern than I have Marshall Faulk. Curtis Johnson is not the head coach of Southern University. It's a slap in the face. And again, if Prime was not the head coach of Colorado, and they went ahead and said, Marshall Faulk, we're going to let you be the head coach, do you really, in your heart of hearts, think that he will be doing the very same thing in Colorado that he's doing right now in Southern? Hell no. So my thing is, we always devalue us. Southern gave you an opportunity, one that you wouldn't get from nowhere. So it's amazing, right? So the thing that you're probably willing to do with that PWI, but yet that PWI ain't willing to risk extend its neck out and give you the opportunity. So the school that gives you the opportunity, you want to half-ass it with them. It's unacceptable, bro. It's ridiculous. And we said the same thing last year when Michael Vick got hired at Norfolk. And I'm a Michael Vick fan. And again, I'm not a hater. I hope he wins. I hope he wins. I said wins. I hope he wins. Hope he does everything and have great success. But man, I want to see you put your foot forward and act like you give a damn about the place that gave you an opportunity that you wouldn't have got no place else. We devalue and want to small time our stuff and then put our best foot forward when we go over here into in this quote unquote upgrade. So we want to sit there and say, hey man, we got elevated. But then while we're down here, I hate how you move when you feel you got the elevation, but you want to sit here and demean and shuck and jive and bull jive the people that gave you the opportunity. Because again, even as we speak, Perry made that video last week. Guess what? He still ain't on no social media showing that he's the head coach over there at Southern. Still right now. And that's with the noise. How anybody can sit there and have an issue with Perry said, because at the end of the day, all Perry said, Steve, was, man, I give a damn. I don't care who you are. Man, I need you to rep and act like you want to be here. So to the people, and I'll be quiet to pass to you, Steve. To the people who sit there and say, the people who say that Southern didn't hire a cheerleader, no, Southern hired a coach who really the only reason why you hired him is because of the cachet. You use cachet for visibility. So the problem is he's dropping the ball on his end of the bargain because you're not using your visibility to highlight us. That's the sole purpose of why you're here, because you don't have a track record. You've never been a head coach before. So saying that you didn't hire a cheerleader, that's bull jive. It's bull jive. It's the very reason why you're here. You're here to elevate the program, to take us to new heights that we weren't from a visibility standpoint, because we're trying to get something. I'm not going to sit there and say you're trying to do what Jack State is doing. I'm not going to even go down that road, but you want some of the similar in vein to what Delaware State got with Deshaun Jackson last year. You want Southern's cachet to get raised. And this is how you return the favor to the people who stuck their neck out and took a risk on you. You can't even sit there and acknowledge them in public, bro. It's ridiculous, man. So again, I see better than I hear. You can come back next week and sit there and say, oh, well, I'm do this and I'm gonna be this, man. It's too little, too late, because I see better than I hear, bro. It's February. It's the last week of February. It's about to be March next week. Okay, March. Got hired. When did he get hired? When did he get hired?
December.
It was November, December.
Yeah.
In the November, first part of December, he got hired. Had a signing class, everything. And it's curtains. It's nothing. Man, please. I wish I might, because I've been the same way the Perry was. Same way.
Well, this is the thing, and I want to listen. I'm gonna get on my, me, I'm about defending folks. Because the first thing, and this is about Perry, you had people out there saying, "Oh, Perry only said that because Marshal Faulk went on these other interviews with different channels, and he hadn't come on the Jaguar." Man, please, Perry is class personified and loves Southern Jaguars. So he ain't lame like that or that sensitive because Marshal Faulk, who will interview with Perry, let's not get it twisted. We'll do an interview for people to put that out there. The second part of my thing is that, and I'm going to be messy because this was put out there. And my Jack State folks, y'all saw this too. And correct me if I'm wrong, and I won't say that Tony Clayton said it because I didn't see it. But we got all these SWAC groups, right? I don't know if you saw this. What did come out of Southern? We're going to show Jack State how to really monetize a celebrity coach. I saw that. I said, okay, Southern.
Well, guess what? You're lying so far. Because like I said, I see better here. Man, look,
if I'm making that up, was that not?
Yeah, it was said.
Okay, so I want to be clear that I'm not making that up. So I sat back there and said, okay, whatever that may mean, right? Whatever that may mean. But at least if you're saying Jack State to set the ball with a celebrity coach, right? Then you got to meet or exceed. And if you meet that, then great. And then if you exceed it, then you've done even better. But my problem is, again, you hired Marshal Faulk for his celebrity. He's not Bill Belichick. So if you hired him for his celebrity comes with promotion and status. And my thing is, and I defend it, if he's at the Super Bowl, which, again, if he was at the Super Bowl, those were deals that were done way before he got the coach. But you know what he could have done? And see, this is what I'm saying. And, hey, Marshall, we'll give you some ideas. You know what would have been dope? When they had that signing day event, you know what he could have did? He could have did just like we got. Zoomed in with his SU guys and all them celebrities say, you know what, guys, this is my school and this is our recruit. I couldn't be there. Recruits, I love it, but guess what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure you get here in 4 years. You're going to be Super Bowl bound because if you play for me, I'm going to get you to the NFL.
You know what, Steve? Go to EA's comment. He said Coach was advertising a pool party on his social media, right? I don't have a problem with that. But you know what's bad about that? You out there advertising on social media, and you could at least said with SU's head coach at the pool party.
Listen.
See, it's going over so many people's head. It's going over your head. It's like you're out here doing something for your own. And I'm out at a pool party, it's going to benefit some type of way financially or something, right? Even if it's gaining clout or get more people there, man, I'm not just Marshal Faulk, I'm Southern University's head football coach. Like we said, we bragged on Deshaun Jackson because the moment that Deshaun Jackson came to that press conference with that baby blue suit, he realized it. He seized the moment and he won it, bro. I already know. I can hear some Jags now. I know it won't be out, but I can hear some Jags. It don't matter, long as he win. Nah, you're wrong. You're wrong. And winning doesn't cure all because, like we said, what constitutes as a win? Because it's different in every institution. It ain't just winning games, because if that's the case, then if Terrence Graves were winning, you wouldn't have got rid of him. If Terrence Graves were winning, you wouldn't even feel the same way that you feel about Marshall Faulk. You hired him because of who he is. All we're saying is he's dropped the ball. He's totally dropped the ball. And like nobody can sit here and be upset with Perry saying what he said, because all he stated was basically what we've all said. I want somebody that wants to be here, that's putting Southern first in all things in regards to this offseason. We have events and everything else. You're a public figure, so you ain't hiding. You're out and about. You're doing these things, but we ain't seeing Southern nowhere in the equation. And mind you, this ain't like you've been coaching. This is your first head coaching job. This should be your baby, because it's the first one. Man, we ain't seen nothing. Nothing. And y'all, and look, but if y'all like it, I love it. But guess what? Y'all fucked around and y'all found out.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, they don't like it, and I'm gonna make this real simple. You know, because there were some people that say that shouldn't matter. It's about coaching. Let me tell you something. I would say the majority of us have been on the airplane, been in the airport. How many times though you got that J hat on? I've worn FAMU gear, and you walk past somebody that's another Tiger or another. I see you. Do not tell me branding does not matter. When anytime I was all the way out in LA, and I talked about this out in LA, New Year's like when the boom was out there, I went out there, I had my FAMU gear on, and people were blowing their horns saying, "Hey, Ral, I see you." Now you think about a person like Marshal Faulk, who you want to engage, and you want him to engage people to talk about. Because let's be honest, half the people might not even know, and this is no disrespect. They could be family, Jack, say whatever. But I'm talking about the ignorance of the corporate America that he might be around at the Super Bowl, right? Hey, Marshall, what is that SU? What is that SJ or whatever they got on their hat? Or Jack, what is that? Well, you know what? You know what, Mike? I'm the new head coach of Southern. And you know what? I think you need to come on down to Baton Rouge and check us out. I think me and your company could do something. Really? You're the coach now? Absolutely. It starts conversations. This is what people are talking about. This is why we wear our stuff. So when you're the head coach, when you are the most visible person as the head coach at any sport, in any college. I tell you what, if you saw Nick Saban, you ever seen Nick Saban other than when he was in suit, didn't have an Alabama shirt on? Steve Sarkisian? You ever saw Jim Harbaugh without that M hat on? Mario Cristobal without that U shirt?
I don't know if you can see my phone. You see issue at the bottom right there. That's press conference day. Go up. You don't see nothing with Southern. Zero. But this in real time. You ain't see nothing in the header saying I'm Southern head coach. That's on IG. You know who you know who use social media? Recruits. It don't even say nothing saying him being the head coach of Southern. I don't think he got here this issue from the day that he made it down. And this was February the 5th. He made a post just say issue.
So let me give you one better. And we'll talk about that one, but let me tell you why that's important. I'm glad because you led into the business side. I want to talk about this and why this is important. You guys have TC Taylor. We're going to start from Prime and TC Taylor. I'm going to use Quinn Gray and Willie Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime they did some fly FAMU stuff, guess what y'all did? Y'all posted it. Y'all reposted it. Y'all shared it. You did. So you amplified the message, even if the message was just at one. You know who made the message 1,000? Us that are supporters of that school. So if TC Taylor, when y'all end up being Coach O and what that Javancy Jones is around there screaming at them guys, you know what? I see all them Jack State people I follow. Guess what y'all do? Y'all repost it. You amplify the message. So even just because you are using stuff. So Marshall Faulk, I tell you what, I give you perfect examples. If Marshall Faulk was doing the Rich Eisen interview, right? And he said something Southern centric, right? Whatever that may be. You know what I mean? I'm going to use FAMU. Quinn Gray gets on there. He was on there with Uncle Luke, right? Doing this. And they start talking about, hey, y'all up there striking, right? You know what everybody, oh, he said strike. Oh, my God, he said strike. All we did was start retweeting. We started reposting. That was an interview that Quinn Gray did with Uncle Luke. So the same thing happens here. So guess what happens, though? All these recruits, like you said, they're all on social media. Oh, okay, Marshall Faulk, the coach of Southern. Okay, let me check that out. Let me look at that. This is part of the business. So it's not just him doing it. It's what the fan base will do with their content to promote it. You don't get 1 million views just because Jack State people are watching. You don't get 1 million views just because FAMU people are watching it. That's because we have amplified it, and we have people that have put together video. And listen, man, Southern, man, listen, the jukebox, I see jukebox stuff all the time. And if Paris one of the people that do it, whatever. But the bottom line, let the jukebox hit one of them songs that I give, for example. Jukebox plays something and some artist saw it, right? And you know what the artist did? They reposted it. 4 million views. Jukebox folks, y'all know what I'm talking about. So don't tell me it does not matter about when you are wearing gear, when you are, like you say, anything that you're doing, because it's going to have a residual effect of marketing. And the whole point, again, when you're hiring a Michael Vick, a Deshaun Jackson, a Marshall Faulk, a Deion Sanders, the first and foremost thing is that you hire them for resources and marketing and the branding.
So here's the thing. Deion Sanders, as much of a lightning rod as he is, he could have just got hired at Jack State, and it probably could have just made some headway that one day because of Deion Sanders being named the head coach, right? But then the thing is, what happened? Deion grabbed his megaphone and got to talking. Because guess what? I'm here. I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and guess what? We finna start flooding everybody because I don't know if you remember the day after the press conference, they flooded social media everywhere with all the offers they were giving guys. It was like, I guess what? I'm putting Jackson State out there. Again, I'm not saying that Marshall Faulk has to be Deion Sanders, But what the point is that the reason why they hired him, a good fraction of why they hired him, he's not fulfilling his obligation. So my thing is, more than anything, is that he's doing thus far a grave disservice and falling short on his end of the stick with regards to leading this program. Because part of the reason why we hired him, he's not using it to the fullest extent of his ability. He's not. That's just fact. That's not my opinion. That's just fact.
That's fact. So listen, we're going to circle back to this because I think this is a great topic. But you know what, though, man? We got somebody. My other nephew, man, because one of the things, a big thing happened for HBCU football this weekend, the Legacy Bowl down in New Orleans. And I'm going to tell you this, and I'm bringing Blue on because he was down there. He saw a lot of things. This was the best plays, the most talented Legacy Bowl, and I watched all of them. And I'm going to try to find a clip from Doug Williams where he talked about it. But we're going to bring my guy from the Blue Bloods channel.
Blue.
His mama named him Zach McKinnell, but the brothers at the cookout call him Blue. What's up, Blue?
What's going on,
What's up,
man?
guys? Appreciate the invite, man. I love the show, man, on Sunday night. Man, love it, man. This is the pairing we needed, man, in this space. And I'm glad y'all finally got the show going.
Hey, man, well, listen, man, listen, just me, see, the thing, what happened, see, this all started, because, see, I'm going to blame Zoe. Because, see, Zoe called me at midday. Steve, I got to talk to you about something. And then me and him started going, I was like, man, we need to let people hear this, what's going on. And it's not just, but I'm just going to say this, 2 people from Jackson, Mississippi, it's just a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? And because we've been all around the conference and things like that, man, and, I've been around this thing a long time. Zoe, Jack State, through and through. And, man, just do a little bit something different. So, on Sunday night, so, we had to do, like I said, a double on time to sipping on Sunday. So people, have to, drink a little cold one before they got to get started and stuff like that. And then, man, we're going to just talk about a little bit of everything. But, of course, always has a little bit of base of state of Mississippi in it because that's where we're from. But, Blue, I really wanted to bring you on because, man, I watched that Legacy Bowl. And I want to set this up and get your opinion on this. There was a great interview, and I'm going to try to find it as we're talking. And Doug Williams, because Doug Williams last year was exasperated about guys just showing up, doing, man, they weren't even lifting weight. They wasn't doing the, doing the 40s or what, and didn't even play in the games. And he's like, what are you guys doing? Like you're some first round, like you're Mendoza or somebody, where this game is built for you. And I'm going to say this to a lot of people. You have to dominate. And if you show a flash, then you know what guys do? Well, wait a minute, I'm watching this. Let me go look at the tape because I see some thing. Because I'm going to say, hey, Luntz, you know what? If I'm a scout, let me go look at the tape. Quincy Ivory, let me go look at the tape. That kid Porter, let me go look at the tape. So those are things, and those are some of the kids that I saw stand out. Blue, you were down there. Were you able to attend the game? Were you able to stay all the way through, or did you just down there for most of the practice?
Listen, if anyone knows me how I cover All-Star games, I don't really care about the game. Yeah. I just want to see all the practices. To me, I get way more info, man, from being in the practices. So shout out to Quincy in the chat, man. Quincy Ivory had a huge week, man, and I thought he had a great week. But yeah, I was there all week for the practices, man. Got to see all the one-on-ones, got to see what everyone was doing, and then obviously watch the game. But man, I think during the week, man, those guys from Monday to Thursday, really Friday, if you include the walkthrough, man, that's where you increase your stock, man, because everyone can go out there ball in the game, man, but it's dominating those one-on-ones. It's dominating the practices because I think I had a coach tell me that you have to practice like a pro too, and that's the big thing, man. They want to see you practice like a pro all week, show up because, and like you said, Mr. Campbell, and you've heard me complain about it. We had the kids leave mid-practice a year ago, had a really good rep in a drill and just dipped.
Which was crazy,
insane, right? Like so this year, man. Like you said, most of the guys that came down there, man, was ready to compete. And I'm with you. I think the talent of this game, because I was there. I've been there all 5 years, guys, from year one where it started to now, and I've been at all the practices every year. Looking at the talent difference from year one to now, man, it is night and day. And then those 2 teams that played on Saturday this week would dominate those teams that played 5 years ago in that first game.
I'm going to tell you one thing that stands out about that game even more so now. And shout out to everybody who went, because from year one to now, I've told everybody, if you can get a chance to go down to New Orleans for that game, it's actually a treat because the weather's typically nice, turned out pretty good. Haven't had a rain game yet. But I want to say this. There's enough data now from how many games we played in this game to where you can see from year one to now, guys who played in that game on the HBCU level to transition to have success in the NFL. from Xavier Smith with the Rams to
Codrington for NCCU went
I'm
as
drawing
a
I'm drawing blank for Jack State, but the kid from Alabama, the old line from Alabama A&M to James going in. I mean, so we have I think now 6 players that's actually played in this game now. There's actually transitioned to have great significant playing time for their respective teams in the NFL, and that's what you want to build on. It's starting at least early onset to have a blue-gray feel to it. We got a long way to go to get longer than 2-4 years for that. But if we continue on this trend and we get some more guys out of this year's game to make it, now you're increasing the names where you can say that's attached to the game that's going to have some time and playing some success in the NFL.
Yeah, and people in chat like, yeah, Rob McDaniel last year, Elijah Williams from last year. I mean, these guys made active rosters. Terrell Jennings from FAMU played, what was it, 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago in it. I mean, like we've seen some big names. The defensive tackle from Southern what is it, Peterson? He's still on the Saints roster, man. Like he comes to the practices every year, and he was a guy that dominated a few years ago. So, I mean, there's just so many. There's like the thing that bothers me, man, is so many people downplay the opportunity. Anytime, I don't care what they name it, I don't care where they host it. If you can get in front of all 32 scouts and talk to all 32 teams and talk to the GMs and talk like that's bigger than anything you can get anywhere else, man. Like, and these agents that are lying to you saying, wait till your pro day. Okay, wait till your pro day. Unless you're unless like for FAMU, if you're a FAMU player, what you might get 18 of the 32 scouts, or if they combine with Florida State, you're just there, right? They're there to see the Florida State guys, and you may or may not catch an eye. Never pass up an opportunity, man, to go make you some future money. Because even if you don't make the league and get drafted, UDFAs, the CFL, the UFL, like there are so many other opportunities, man, that you can go and then there's a career fair, right? You might not be a future NFL player, but you can leverage this opportunity to go get you a job in the future, man, with your HBCU degree that you got. And Mr. Campbell, you speak about this all the time, man. You get that degree, you can go anywhere. This is that opportunity, man. Don't screw it up by listening to your agent to wait till your pro day, man. You're going to cost yourself some money.
And why settle for one opportunity?
Zoe and Blue, let me play this real quick, but I think it's so important with Doug Williams. I found the clip. Let me see if we can play this. Give me 1 second. Get this real nice and big. Get Doug in there. Okay, there we go. We play. This is Doug Williams, and again, I wanted to talk about, Doug, friend of the show, has been on HBCU Coach. There's somebody that really believes in it, that understands how important this opportunity is, and I'm really going to talk about people don't understand how important Doug Williams is to the NFL, and people don't say Doug Williams works for the Washington Commanders. Okay, Rob McDaniel. Guess what, guys? Guess where he's at? He's on the command. You don't think Doug Williams will have something to do with that? So this is Doug Williams talking about the kids and what he saw.
Good to see you again. This is the 5th year of the Legacy Bowl. How have you seen the growth of this game, particularly for these players here?
Well, the good thing about this, every year we've gotten better players, and the guys that taken to it and played better, just like today. The start that we got today, man, is something that I think everybody wants to see. And, 5 years we in and hope to keep growing.
And we know your journey from HBCU to a Super Bowl MVP, just knowing that these guys now have the accessibility to have a performance in front of these NFL scouts. Just what does that mean to be able to represent HBCU and give these guys an opportunity?
And you hit the nail on the head. It's all about an opportunity, to give them a chance to be seen and give them an opportunity to go out there and perform. And if you do that, that's all people ask for, is opportunity.
That's what the coaches, even some of these players, were saying. Where else do you think you can see this game grow?
Well, here, just getting better players every year. The fact that this crew that we got this today, and we've been had all week, has been great. They better than, I hate to say it, it's better than the last 4, and hope the 6th one going to be better than the 5th one.
It's been incredible. We have seen guys playing in this game ending up at NFL camps and rosters. So, Doug, we appreciate it. Congratulations on another incredible game.
Thank you.
Think about what he just said there. The indictment, but also the quality of young men who understood the assignment. Do you not think, and let me tell people this, and somebody, and I'm going to say this again. A lot of you all don't know my background. People know. I had a sports agent with 2 other guys. We had a first-round pick. We had guys from University of Miami, Florida, all types of guys. And I'm telling you, people keep talking about the NFL combine. Scouts make money by getting the diamonds in the rough. You want to show you a true scout is when he can go find a guy like a Rob McDaniel or the kid Vince or the Kobe Durant. Because if you can get those guys, there's a couple things that happen. Now you're building your team because it's about depth, right? Now we're getting a kid that nobody else knew. So you know what? So what? Maybe we get him undervalued. He's not going to. But you want me to tell you what? Kobe Durant on his second contract is going to make money. When that scout goes back to South Carolina State, Jackson State, FAMU, they're going to trust what he says. I got another kid down here. I saw him at the Legacy Bowl. So what? He didn't go to the combine. People keep getting caught up with the combine. It has nothing to do with your ability to get to the NFL. It is just one pathway. But if you come in there, and I'm going to say this, and Doug said it, clearly these kids performed, and you don't think that Doug Williams is not going to go to his coach. He's there. They wonder. You don't think Doug said, let me tell you something. 5 best players are A, B, C, and D. The commander scouting department is already ahead of some other scouting department that maybe didn't come or not as tuned in as Doug Williams is. And again, these are the players. The Kobe Durant made big plays. All the people understand that. If the Kobe Durant does not make those plays, the Rams are not at the doorstep of the Super Bowl. So I want to just point that out because how important that is, and for these kids to utilize this opportunity. To me, and shout out to the coaches because again, hey man, Mr. 1-0. Hey, we just want to go 1-0. Your boy, your T-Jack, Coach Gray. These guys are wired to not play no games. So not to say that the other coaches were not wired, but this group of coaches, because I've interviewed all 4 of them, I know what they thought about. First of all, you were not going to half-ass in those practices. You are not going to show your best foot forward. And those guys have pride. They're going to try to win the game and win the game in an NFL type. The throws and the plays that they were running, that you saw these receivers and stuff like that. Cam, I'm going to tell you this. Cam Ransom, I know he sit back like, well, I didn't have these guys coach because he was making throws. I didn't see him make gears when he was at Bethune cooking. So, Blue, I'm going to just set that up. So I want to turn it over to you. Tell me what you saw and what you thought.
Yeah, man. I think, again, competitive practices are the biggest thing, man. I'll say this. I think this, you see it every year, man. Like the wide receivers just have such a big advantage over the DBs. So when people are watching the one-on-ones, they get a little bit too caught up in the end result instead of watching the technique and stuff. Because if you remember, the NFL and college rules are different in terms of when you can contact a wide receiver, how long you can press them. They really struggle with that, man. Because it's hard. Like, man, you're programmed so much to I mean, you're like, especially when you're pressing, it's hard to train your brain to release that guy in a certain amount of time. So, I mean, they were really struggling in one-on-ones early, man, but you saw them continue to get better, man. There was a kid from Morehouse, man, that I thought was the best DB here, personally. I know the kid from Grambling had a good game. I think he had the pick 6, but man, the kid from Morehouse on Team Robinson, man, probably was the most consistent defensive back from day 1 to the final day. I mean, I think the defensive line has been the obvious standouts every year, right? Like you go back to Jason Dumas having a big game, the kid from Bama State at DN, Nelson having a big game, Cam Peterson having a big game, Elijah Williams, but man, on both teams, Jeremiah Williams, unblockable in one-on-ones, which I don't think that's a surprise to anyone who's watched SWAC football, right? He's been the best defensive tackle in the SWAC for a few years now. He had a big week. I think it was important for Quincy Ivory to show that he could be a full-time edge rusher, right? Because we saw Jackson utilize him in so many different ways, especially as an off-ball linebacker toward the end of the year in that scheme with Quinn. I think it was important for him to show. And guys, they only had 3 D tackles on each team. So what it allowed Quincy to do is he got to play more of a 4-eye down into a 3 and show that he can rush from the interior in a NASCAR package for people who are familiar with that. But Quincy, man, talking to him, he shows up at 260. How important is it to show that he still has the same type of athleticism playing at 260 that he does at 240, which is what he was on Jackson's roster?
That's
so stuff like that.
Listen on the screen coming up at 239, 240.
He was 260. I talked to him. He told me he was 260 on the dot this week. And man, you saw how good he played. Michael Lund's playing, man, and Michael Lund's got banged up in practice earlier this week, guys. So I don't even know if he was 100% in the game. And he still did what he was able to do. And then I think Eric Hunter, man, when you talk about players who just look different in person, and all 3 of us know there's bus guys, right, that you want walking off the bus first and setting that tone. like Eric Hunter's the dude that is like, yeah, just put him in the front and lead the team out. Like when you go to the game,
and he got the tape too.
He got the tape. He's got the stats, the athleticism, everything, man. He just looks like an NFL player. And Mr. Campbell, like you said, he's so versatile that when you make that call, how does he not take someone's job, man? Right? Because he's 6'2", 6'3". He runs like a defensive back. He can cover. He can blitz. He can pull him down into stand-up edge rusher if you need to. He can play off-ball linebacker. He could do it all. How does that guy not make the roster? And, guys, he plays special teams at Morgan. So guess what? You can put him on special teams if all it all calls. So stuff like that matters, man. Bryce Cage from Grambling had a good week at defensive line. James Stewart from Tennessee State. I really, really like James Stewart, man. Like breakout guy. Yeah.
Listen, I want to talk about Stewart a little bit. And man, listen, you're talking about a proud tradition, that Tennessee State. And when I saw Stewart, and again, and this is the thing about it, Blue, what I was curious about Stewart, because did he look bigger? Did he come in bigger? Because again, he played at like 235 at Tennessee State. He was a defensive end. You saw the quickness and stuff like that. But again, to your point, he looked a little bit bigger. He played very smart. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. They talked a lot about, and the thing about which was interesting, and I think Charles Davis said this, he was shocked that Eddie George didn't take him to Bowling Green. I think the kid said, this is where I want to be at, and this is where I want to play. And to come down to the Legacy Bowl and to produce, I just thought really him. And also, Blue, I want to ask you a question. The kid Abner, the tight end for Alabama A&M, I saw, the size, I saw the speed. How did he look?
Yeah, I thought he looked good in one-on-ones. I thought he was the only tight end that really popped for me this week.
Yeah.
It's hard for tight ends to pop in these all-star games, guys, especially the practices, right? It just, in one-on-ones, you don't really want them going in one-on-ones because that's just asking for disaster. And then in terms of wide receiver DB one-on-ones, man, they have such an advantage over the safeties because they got them playing 15 yards back to make it realistic. I mean, if they run a slant route, what do you guys want him to do? As long as they don't drop it, he looks good. But I think his athleticism stands out. And you saw in the game, man, like if you just put it in his catch radius, he just makes the catch. But in terms of Stewart, like you were asking, I mean, he looked the part, man. Like he looked a little bit bigger than I thought he was. I think he was at like 240 something on the roster. Mr. Campbell, I think, and I'm looking here, I got the paper. I mean, 6'3", 248 is what he came in at officially. So, I mean, he looks the part. I would say this: he's a little bit lanky, but I think the fact that he's so long keeps those bigger offensive linemen off of him, and he's able to use his athleticism, his quick twitch to go make plays. And I thought the MEAC offensive line, man, just really struggled with them all week. And I think sometimes with the edge rushers, guys, you get those guys that just bend the edge and they're fast, right? So they're just going to run. Well, in the game, guys, you can't just do that in a game, right? Like if you get an edge rusher that just runs straight up the field. Well, you know what the quarterback's going to do? He's going to step up in the pocket. And you just made my left tackle's job the easiest job in the world. He shows such a versatility in his bag and ways he could get to the quarterback. I think that's what stood out with Stewart for me, Mr. Campbell, is the bag that he had and the different ways he was able to win those reps.
Blue, I wonder, and I'm going to bring this to Zoka and I talk about, I'm going to tell you a surprising name that I saw that started. And again, as we on Sippin on Sunday, Offscript channel, Rocky Miller channel, HBCU Coach's Corner, got my man Blue from the Blue Blood, Zoe Phillips. But I saw a name, and I'm talking about with the size, speed, if he can catch, DeMario Davenport. I was shocked of how impressed I was. I know he didn't, I know the other kid wanted, but I'm talking about far as the size and what he was. I'm like, man, this kid could catch the ball. He could be a third down back in the league. What did you see? And Zoe, I'm gonna start with you, Blue, and then Zoe. What did you overall during the season? Do you think he has the ability to be a third down back? Of course, he has the size to run down on kickoff. Blue, what did you see for DeMario during the season?
Yeah, I thought he had a good week. This was a big week for him, right? Because, and I understand why he went to Jackson, right, with the relation to TC and everything. But guys, how many teams would he have been the featured number one back for? You know what I mean? So like he went to a program because he had a connection with TC. But man, remove Ahmad from the equation. Remove the snaps that they gave Travis Terrell. Remove the snaps they gave, I forget the kid, he's like number 40 or 30 something, blanking on his name right now. The snaps he got, what would have happened if he would have got more snaps in that system? And to me, and like EA said in the chat, and there's other people, like there was talk that he could have been the most talented Jackson back at times last year.
Here's the thing. When you look at the carries on the season, to your point, Blue, he had the same number of carries as Travis Terrell. Had
Which
about 60
that I'm sorry. No, and listen, you know I love TC and listen, but man, that right there, just because you said it, is blasphemous. Because when you watch the Mario, and again, and the reason why I'm pointing this out, this is all American team that he's playing against. And I mean, the size and speed, he just running past. I'm like, man, this dude's 6'2", 210. And I'm like, man.
And
this
look,
is crazy.
and was amazing in pass pro all year. In pass protection. I mean, he has the measurables. He has the moxie, you know what I'm saying? And to be frank, just to put it bluntly, yes, he could have been a starter at Jackson State. That's what I'm saying. You look at what the carries that Ahmad got. Mind you, we played 4 running backs for the duration of the season. And for him and Travis, because he matched carries with Travis Terrell. Davenport ended up having, I think, just a shade over 60 carries on the season with Travis Terrell. So to Blue's point, you take those carries away from Travis Terrell, right? And you give those carries to Davenport. That's 120 carries on the season. I think Ahmad had about, if I want to say like just a shade under 200 carries. I think Davenport could probably surpass Miller in yardage because he led him in touchdowns. He bested him in touchdowns.
And he missed some games, right, due to injury, right?
Yes.
Because he missed the SWAC championship for sure. And I want to say there was maybe one or two others he missed.
2 other games.
So again, you're talking about if I'm a scout, you know the kid got the measurables. Now I don't know what he's going to run the 40, but there's no way you're not going to tell me he's at least a 4.5 guy. At least
he's a sub 4.55 guy.
Well, see again. So if I'm looking at a guy 6'2", 210 that runs hard, that has explosion, and again, if he can catch the ball, and again, I can either put him on special teams to knock somebody's head off because he has to sign to be a gunner and like that. This is what I'm talking about when you go in these games and you go and produce, man. I'm gonna tell you something. And I guess for me, I keep looking at the measurables and the explosiveness. And like you say, he's not been beat down, so he's really gonna be fresh.
Yep.
So he's gonna get a guy. So if he's not a priority free agent, which again, we know how this thing goes, but I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna immediately right after that, they're gonna say, hey, come on down. And all of a sudden, he's gonna get a training camp invite. And if he starts getting carries,
I'm gonna tell you, if given opportunity, that kid can make a roster on special teams. Make no mistake about it. He can make a roster on special teams. And if he makes a roster, and he's able to get some looks at practice at running back, he's gonna have a damn good shot.
Blue, I'm gonna throw some names out here, and I just want to talk about. And again, Jaden Carter, Morgan State, we talked about. What happened to Chris Mosley? What did you think about him? Did he get? I didn't see him get a lot of carries. Did he get hurt? I thought he was going to do a little bit more in the game.
That's why I don't pay attention to the game. Like some of these guys, just more like load management things. Like Mosley, man, when I tell you, like in terms of just pure in-person speed, he looked like the fastest player in New Orleans. I mean, that kid is lightning in a bottle.
Wow.
And I'm so excited to see what he runs in the 40, man. Like, I mean, he is legit, man. And I thought he had a really, really good week. And he was one of my winners on day 2. I thought he looked great in scrimmages, man. His vision's there. And man, if he gets a crease, it's to the house. Like, I mean, he looks that fast. And on day 1, he had a few plays like that. Now, the question for him more is, I think, pass protection. A little bit, like, what is he every down back? I don't know, but in terms of explosiveness, man, like he has what it takes there. And I thought he had a really good week, man. I just think the game's tough for running backs, man. Because listen, I'll also say this: they were low on running backs because of an opt out, and I won't name the name. And it was a whole debate, and so they had to move one of the all-corn running backs to the other team. Like those MEAC backs got a lot of carries in practice, and let me just say that. So I do think there was a little bit of load management there.
Okay. What about the kid Porter from Johnson C. Smith? He had his quarterback there. Looked like a big body kid. Bucky Brooks loved him. Talk about him. What do you think about him, Blue? What did he do in practice?
I mean, he was okay. I'll say this: like he wasn't bad, but I think he just got overshadowed by a few other D2 guys for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned the Morehouse kid at corner, but man, I thought the 2 best wide receivers in attendance this week was Mekhi Lovett from Edward Waters and Ronnie West from Clark Atlanta. Man, those two kids, like, listen, I don't know what Mekhi Lovett's going to run. I didn't watch any film from him, right? I didn't watch any Edward Waters games. I'm not a huge D2 guy, but man, every single time the ball was in his catch radius in one-on-ones, made a play. Any time you needed a good route run in one-on-ones, Mekhi Lovett delivered. And I just liked his moxie, man. The kid was confident. He was talking trash to the DBs, man. I just like that confidence with the wide receivers. And on top of that, too, bro, they got him listed here 6'1", 220. That's a massive wide receiver, man. 220 for a wide receiver he's a big dude. And so even though he's only 6'1", man, he goes up and gets the ball like he's more like 6'2", 6'3". And I like that about him. But and then Ronnie West is a bit of a smaller wide receiver, but man, just the athleticism, man, that he shows. And listen, I had the PVDB coach come up to me after day 3 of practice, guys, and say, listen, go watch that film of Ronnie West, man. He was cooking today in one-on-ones. And like even the coaches around the practices were talking about how good Ronnie West was. So I think those two D2 wide receivers, man, like those two guys in the Morehouse corner were the 3 best Division II players in attendance this year, man. I was so impressed with all 3 of them.
Wow. Now, Blue, I wanted to ask you because, again, not only do you do a great job covering the HBCU football, but you also, your claim to fame is also FCS. What do you think? And this is the thing, and I'm tying this in again. Jimmy Smith was interviewed, and Jimmy Smith is going into the Black College Hall of Fame. We're gonna get Jimmy Smith. Definitely, that's my homeboy. We're gonna get him on Sippin' on Sundays. But Bucky Brooks asked him, and Steve Weiss asked him, "Do you ever think there'll be another kid drafted in the second round like yourself?" Right? And Jimmy said, "Probably not. NIL kids move on. Do they get to stay?" And we're seeing that, I think, at the combine, I think it's only 6 kids or 8 kids going FCS. They're going to the combine.
I think it might be 5. Yeah, I think it's 5.
5. Okay, 5. When we did a show, I started looking at some of these kids, right, that left our schools. And it wasn't, a lot of kids end up sitting on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't play. So it wasn't like they left us, went to Alabama, all of a sudden they got drafted or whatever. They got stuck compared to staying. So will you see FCS kids, even though the money, but I'm talking about kids that want to play pro, and now because we will be getting some revenue share, and maybe they see the opportunity to better themselves, like Quincy Irie, who said, let me stay, he came to Jackson State. I think he increased his draft stock. I think if he would have stayed at Florida, we wouldn't even know his name. And I think that was the best thing for him. Again, Stewart State, he didn't go to Bowling Green. He stayed at Tennessee State. What do you think just overall FCS, what's going to happen with kids that are going to try to get an NFL, or is this just going to be, it is what it is? Those glory days like Jimmy Smith are just gone.
It's probably somewhere in between, right? Like, would I like to tell you guys that we're gonna keep a bunch of these guys? I would, but I mean, the truth of the matter is, man, it probably depends on what program they're at, because some of these programs, man, just the sneaky truth is, and I think me and Zoe have had this conversation. The sneaky truth is, some of these programs are selling the transfer portal as a reason to commit to their program. So those kids aren't going to stay anyway because they got 2-year contracts with their FCS program. Come develop for 2 years, and we'll send you to Ohio State if that's your dream. That's how we develop players now. And I know fans are like, man, my program would never do that. I would never want my program to do that. The sad part is they're doing it without telling y'all. Everyone jumped on that Alabama A&M coach for saying it out loud. A lot of your favorite programs are doing that low key, and a lot of people don't want to hear that. But those kids aren't going to stay. But I mean, Mr. Campbell, if Chattanooga could have a first-round pick 2 years ago, what makes me think that Jackson State can't keep someone and have a first-round pick one year? Now, is it going to happen as often? Are we ever going to see a team like Jackson, what was it, in 2001, have 2 first-round picks? Never. Yeah. That will never happen again.
Right.
You will never be able to keep 2 first-round talents on a team. I mean, it just isn't going to happen. But, guys, I mean, obviously, North Dakota State has accounted for a lot of the first and second round draft picks recently. And now obviously they've moved up, but I'll look back, like Yale had a 3rd round pick recently. Houston Christian had a 3rd round pick who ended up starting at edge rusher for the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl as a rookie. If Houston Christian could keep a 3rd round pick, guys, why can't Jackson or Fayetteville?
Well, I believe that Jackson State can. And let me remind everybody, Jimmy Smith got drafted in the 2nd round, and as great as a wide receiver as he was at Jackson State, his senior year, he didn't even catch 50 balls. Donald Driver, in comparison, great career at Alcorn. Senior year, he only caught 55 balls. He slid down to the 7th round, but he only caught 55 balls his senior year. Jimmy Smith did not catch. He caught 48 passes his senior year and still was a second-round draft pick, right? So, again, we look at Alabama State with their old lineman go in and get drafted in the first round. I think Carson Vincent, believe it or not, I think if he had more behind him, hype behind him in his junior year going into his senior year, then I think he actually does get drafted a little bit higher, right? But call me crazy, and I swear I'm not being biased. I believe it can. I think we'll be hard pressed. The stars got to align for us to get a first round draft pick, right? True, just in the nature of the beast, the stars got to align. But I don't think it's far fetched to see someone from the SWAC getting drafted in the late second round or third round. I don't. It's not hard for me to believe. I've seen it happen too many times, and I've seen the caliber player that got drafted. I mean, you look at Tavares Jackson when he got drafted, out of his senior year. People will say, "Oh, you have to put up Steve McNair-like numbers." Well, Tavares Jackson didn't do that. He had a great senior year, but he didn't put up no Steve McNair type numbers in that senior season, and he got drafted late in the second round. So again, I believe it can happen, but it's not so much about who wins or who loses on the NFL level, right? It's so much more it goes into that. It's all about what they're going to do on the upcoming roster, what happened during that year. So many factors goes into who they're going to get and what they're going to get. Because to the point that Blue and made earlier, do you know the biggest reason why guys on the lower level really get picked up? It's the same old diamond in the rough in high school. It'll be like, man, we're really looking at this guy, and we went there, but man, this other guy jumped off the page that we weren't even paying attention to. And then, damn, we interview him because all it takes is for one guy to fall in love with you. Because I'm going to prove this point. When you mentioned about the year 2000 draft, the real reason why Rashard Anderson, God bless his dead, really got drafted in the first round, the Panthers were in love with him. The scouts and the team were in love with him. Mind you, Jackson State did not win the conference that year. Mind you, in that SWAC championship game, Rashard Anderson gave up 2 bombs to Michael Hayes. He got destroyed in that SWAC championship game.
Who went to the NFL?
Huh?
Michael Hayes, who went to the NFL?
Yeah, but he got destroyed in that championship game and still got drafted in the first round. So what does that tell you? The Carolina Panthers were in love with him. Sylvester Anderson had an okay game in that SWAC championship game. It was Torrey Thigpen and Daniel Guy who got off in that SWAC championship game. It wasn't Sylvester Morris. But yet Kansas City fell in love with him, still drafted him in the first round. So my point is, all it takes is one team, to fall in love with you. And once they got their mind made up on when they want to get you, they're going to take you. So, yes, I do believe we'll have second rounders. No, I hate this myth that you got to put up these out otherworldly. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have to have measurables for the most part, yes. But you got to have the measurables. You got to have good tape. You got to interview well. And damn it, you got to have a team that's in love with you, and they'll make it happen.
Well said, Zo. Now, Blue, again, we appreciate you coming on again. I know it's late. What do you think going forward, looking at what you see for the Legacy Bowl? You were down there with the things that they say, you know what? We love what we're going to do, and we're going to do something better. Some of the things that you saw that there could be some improvement, just overall, the overall experience. And also, I saw a lot of people attending the game. So, how was the fan interaction? Again, I know you said you didn't watch the game, but again, just talking about that, let me forget the fan thing because, like you say, you were talking about. But what did you see that you say, you know what, like Doug Williams said, we're going to keep growing this and keep making it better? What did you see, and what do you think about what Doug said about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, they're making improvements, and I think the big thing was, if you notice, we didn't have the combine this week. There was no HBCU combine this week. And a lot of it is because guys were scared to compete and they were tired of players opting out. So what the NFL said is, why are we going to come down here for this combine and all the guys we want to see aren't competing?
Wow.
So they canceled the combine this week, and they're going to do a showcase in like a week or two in DC. And so what it does is it gives those guys 2 extra weeks to prepare. So they're hoping that more players will go and perform. But guys, I mean, me and Gerald Huggins told y'all last year what happened. All those DBs were scared to run the 40 in a dome, in an indoor facility on turf. They were scared to run the 40. Guys, their pro days are mostly outside. So what do you think the better
tracks.
chance? Yeah, like where do you think the better chance is in terms of you running your fastest 40 at? Indoor in the Saints facility or outside at UTEP? I mean, like it's stuff like that gets aggravating. I'll be honest with you. And then just also too, man, like the big thing is I wish some of these kids, man, like I understand you got to sign with who you sign with, man, but we've talked about agents in terms of NIL and signing with bad agents. Bro, there are just some agents out here just straight screwing some of these kids over, man, giving them real bad advice on why not to participate. And so like stuff like that, I think really like we got to have some sort of, I mean, just committee that like HBCU committee with like Doug Williams and some of these pros that like make sure these kids are getting good advice. Because man, like I talked about, the kid that opted out was a D2 kid. His agent told him, "You ain't got nothing to prove. Opt out of the game." I'm like, you're a D2 player, bro. Like you got everything to prove.
That is
every agent for all the FCS players and D2 players, because we have the data. They're all telling them get in the portal because they're being told get in the portal because you could go back. And guess what? That's not true. It's not true.
No, but then like a smaller critique is, and I've been begging for this for 5 years, bro. Like, why are we trying to reinvent the wheel with these helmets? Like, get the where? Like, I need to go out there and know the FAMU DBs because they're wearing FAMU helmets.
Listen, okay. I'm sitting up there because I recorded the game, right? I'm watching it, and I'm sitting up here saying, I understand you want to give the kids a nice gear and stuff like that, but first of all, a helmet is a really personal thing, and getting a new helmet. I know a lot of people, it just doesn't make you feel right. And I'm like, man, the way it should be is everybody trades stickers. You got all the different stickers. And like, I know who this kid's a FAMU kid. This kid is a Jack State kid. This kid's a Grambling kid. Like the kid from Grambling that made the play, that should have been a G. And he's got this little G on the back. And I got to go look and open up online to see who it is to make sure that's him. I mean, they had the name and stuff, but again, the name doesn't mean anything if you don't really know the kid right off the hat. But the kid, yeah, bro, that Doug and them, I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, like I don't know if they got a sponsorship with Rydell. Like I like, come on, man. Like even me, like guys, like they sent updated rosters every day to us. So like, listen, they sent us paper rosters, and so I'm sitting there trying to video practice, and like this guy makes a play, and I'm sitting here reading a book, trying to organize these papers, trying to figure out who the hell that was.
Right.
I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, an average fan, like if I need help figuring out who it is, guys, what do y'all think the average fan watching is trying to figure out?
Well, Blue, you hit it. Quincy Ivory, Reed Pullum, guys that we know, names and stuff like that. I'm just, just throwing out there. Stu, if I see Ivory with that JSU hat, boom, you know what I'm gonna say? Or Mario Danvers, we talked about him. Charles Davis from FAMU. If I see often, I say, "Oh, that's my guy Davis from FAMU."
I was about to say, Steve. Matter of fact, if you're there, if you just see alignment and that helmet, it tell you all you need to know. Oh, linebacker from FAMU. Oh, that's so and so, so and so. Running back at this school. Oh, that's so and so, so and so.
That's it.
It helps you out greatly.
Now, this is the thing. Now, like I say, again, one thing about it, we're part. So listen, Doug, we know that you watched the HBCU Coach Corner. We know this is going to. Now, Doug, we're going to get you on. We're going to give you this great idea because I think it also, again, for those kids, and they get, and this is what I want to find out because I'm going to ask, is it because, and I hate to say, is it because the kid they don't want the kid to take the helmet from FAMU and because they're going to use the helmet to get, like, whatever, bro, give them the helmet. We need to, listen. The alumni will pay for that one helmet for that kid to have that because, again, like Coach Tremaine Jackson said, this might be the last football game many of these kids ever play. Yeah. And the camaraderie.
Or like if you don't want them to take the helmet, right? Like let's just say FAMU says, man, we don't have enough helmets to send with them. Let's just say that's the excuse, right? We need those helmets because we're going to repurpose them. Bro, give me a FAMU logo. Take the HBCU Legacy Bowl logo off the side of it. Put that on the back little part and put the actual school logo just on the white or black helmet. That would help, like on each side of it,
Yeah.
like full size. That's all we need, man. We just got to be able to see where these kids are from, because if the whole point is to promote these kids, promote these schools, guys, like, why aren't we promoting the schools? I mean, and then for the schools that have multiple helmets, like how many different helmets did Jackson wear this year? I mean, like 3 or 4 or 5, bro. How they had 6 players there? How cool would it be if each one of them took a different helmet down there?
Different helmet, yeah.
Blue, let me tell you a quick story. This is so funny. And so again, this is one of those. Let's say you remember this. You from Mobile. It used to be the blue gray game, and that was the game again for the Senior Bowl and stuff like that. That's where Jerry Rice made his legend. But he had a crazy number like 45. He had some weird number. He wasn't 80, but he had that Valley helmet on, and everybody knew that was Jerry Rice smoking everybody from Michigan and all those Big Ten teams that was trying to cover him. And because he had that Valley helmet on with 45, and I'm pretty sure the number was 45 because it was really crazy. And he was the MVP of that blue-gray game, which propelled him on to be a first-round pick, of course. But that alone, to your point, which I think has a lot to do with, because again, if you're watching, to your point, if I'm a scout and I'm just kind of breezing the tape, you know what I mean? Time is money, right? But I see a kid and I just see his FAMU and stuff like that. Let me just go look. I just saw him, man, because man, listen, anybody's been in combat, TVs are just on, right? And they might not even be paying, let's just cut it on, because we're already getting ready for the draft and we're not watching the game. We're just, it's on. And then I'm looking at there and I see this kid from a Jack State helmet, a Southern helmet, just blow somebody up. I'm like, okay, well, let me see what this is. And I think that's one of the things that, to your point, it might be a sponsorship thing, but we got to let our players wear their helmet. I think 100%.
Yeah, some sort of identify feature. Because, guys, I heard someone recap this game, right? And we're like, man, Kelby Givens had such a good week, and he had such a good game. And I'm like, Kelby Givens didn't even play. Kelby Givens is hurt. He opted out. But guess what? The Grambling kid was wearing number 1 during the game.
That's what happened.
So this Grambling kid's making all these plays, and they're crediting it to Kelby. Kelby Givens' draft stock improved because the Grambling kid was balling out in the number that he was on the paper roster. And then you got media. Right, the irony of that is one thing. But then you got people going out here on podcasts and stuff saying Kelby Givens balling out. It's like Kelby Givens wasn't even dressed out for the game. Kelby Givens wasn't even there.
That was crazy, because that was the thing, because the kid from Grambling had another jersey, and I guess Gillen fit better. He went for, I think he was wearing 45.
Yeah, 45.
He switched to 1, and they were talking about, and they said it at the game. This is not Kelby Givens. This is the kid from Grambling. I think what the kid is Cage.
Bryce Cage, yeah.
Bryce Cage, right. Bryce Cage, who had a hell of a, and let me say this, and this is what I'm talking about, little things that matter. So again, I talked about this earlier. Cam Jordan's in the booth. And Cam Jordan said, that kid, Cage, I could take him because he has an amazing first step. I see some move. He get with me, I can make him an NFL player. This is a defense, a Hall of Fame, not Hall of Fame, a Pro Bowl player looking at a kid that said, I could take that rough diamond and I can make him an NFL player. And to your point, you got people on podcasts saying that was Kelby Givens. That's crazy. Is absolutely crazy. Well, now, so Blue Man, I really appreciate it. Anything else, man, just, as they say, last 5 before we let you get up out of here that you saw. And also just overall players from the FCS that we should be looking for that potentially get drafted. Again, doesn't matter what school that, because again, this is, like I say, Sippin on Sunday. This is not HBCU central. It's just overall, we just talking football. So some of the kids that from the FCS level that, some of our teams maybe have played against, or just on the FCS level that you say, hey, these guys got a good chance of getting drafted.
Yeah, I guess for my last 5 is, man, like I beg the media, man, to get down to this event more. Like I remember the first year I was there, it was just me and Cut Day Sports. I don't know if everyone remembers Cut Day in the space. Me and him were the only 2 people there, like for the practices. And like I know not everyone's in the position to take off all week and go to the practices. But like, man, if you are able to, man, go cover the practices. That's where these kids need exposure. They don't need you to show up on Saturday for the game and go head to head with NFL Network. They need you to be there in the one-on-ones. They need you to be there when they're balling out in practices so you can give the info that I'm giving, right? And then go and network with people, man. Talk to the scouts that are there. Talk to some of the NFL Network people so you know what's going on. That's the last 5. And also, this event is amazing, man. And I'm hoping it keeps growing, and I'm hoping they keep improving it because it should go from 5 years to 10 years to 15. Like you said with the blue-gray game, it took a while, but this game should keep growing, especially as other all-star games are ending, right? The Hula Bowls in shambles right now. The NFLPA Bowl's done, man. So these other opportunities for our players are going away. They need this game. And so I'm really, really hoping they find a way to make it work. In terms of FCS guys, man, like I think Bryce Lance is probably the biggest name to know for North Dakota State. I know they're moving up in the future, but they still count as FCS guys right now.
Yeah.
But he'll probably be the first guy off the board. Charles Demings from Stephen F. Austin at corner, man, really, really like him. Had a really good Senior Bowl week down in Mobile. My favorite prospect personally, Caleb Proctor from Southeastern Louisiana. Defensive tackle, can slide out to edge, man. I thought he killed the shrine. I think I really like his ability. Like he's probably the closest thing we got to Elijah Williams in the FCS space right now. In terms of a prospect, I can see him getting on the roster and going to do something like that. Cole Payton from North Dakota State at quarterback, I really like as well. I think, like you mentioned him earlier, being a guy that can get drafted. And then, man, I mentioned him earlier, but Eric Hunter, man, I really, really am hoping Eric gets a shot.
Man.
He deserves it, man. This kid's done everything right, guys. He's gotten offers to go FBS. He's been hurt, missed a whole season, and decided to come back. Like, this kid did everything the right way. And then, guys, like the biggest thing, and then I'll kind of wrap it up, is we talk about top prospects not coming to the Legacy Bowl. This guy went to the American Bowl, balled out, practiced all week, guys, played in the game, still came to the Legacy Bowl, practiced all week, and played in the game.
How about
we
that?
got guys who are scared to play in all-star games once. This kid came and played in 2, and he thought it was important to represent HBCUs and represent the HBCU Legacy Bowl. Listen, man, I think that speaks more about his character and what he is than anything, man. Than Quincy Ivory, man, I really think he helped himself this week. He was my biggest winner this week. Yeah. I thought Quincy did everything he could to improve his draft stock, man. Showing up at 260, showing he can carry that weight, be athletic, and rush the passer. I think Quincy, man, has shown that he can be in that versatile scheme in the NFL where you can put him down on the line of scrimmage until you go get the quarterback and drop him into coverage if you need to, and he can play special teams. I think all of those guys are names you guys need to know.
Hey, Blue, wait a minute. You know what? I got to get your opinion on this, and this is more of a joke. Auburn just hired a new football coach, Alex Goes. Let me ask you a question. If Alex did a press conference and he was on with Paul Feinbaum and he having Auburn merchandise on, what would happen?
Yeah, they'd probably fire him. Almost like it'd be a wrap. Like, especially with all the free merch you get. Like, aren't you supposed to get free merch as a head coach?
Oh my god!
Like, isn't there a closet on campus that you can just go in and just pick out what you want?
So Boo, I could actually speak to this because SU, and this might be the conundrum, right? Because SU is with Under Armour, and so the way Under Armour get down for Jack State and Southern, because they do them both kind of similar, right, is what they give to them. And yes, their staff is outfitted with quite a bit of stuff as well as the players. Under Armour has been good to Southern and Jack State. I can tell you this. But again, I know the new coach will have this thing with Nike or whatever the case may be, but still, until then, you see what I'm saying? You rep what you rep. And then it's still no excuse because they got AL Collection right there in North Baton Rouge, down not far from the campus at all. They got plenty of Southern stuff if you don't want to wear the Under Armour. So there's no excuse. And he'll give you that stuff free. So there's no excuse.
I get it, man. Some people might not think it's a big deal, but guys, like, I mean, the whole point of hiring him was to increase the visibility of the program and to promote the program. I mean, what are we doing? Like, no one knows he ain't got it in the bio. He's out there promoting pool parties. I mean, like, is he going to be wearing SU swim trunks there? Like, is that, I don't, man, we ain't got nothing on the low. Like, that's just insane, right? And I just don't understand how this has become normalized. And like, are we giving him a pass because it's Marshall Faulk? Like, if Quinn Gray showed up in places without any FAMU, man, listen, the ONG strike zone would have an emergency episode.
Let me say this. I'm going to be very careful. We have people at FAMU that are associated with other schools, and we let them know real quick, you might have been there, but you are here. Real quick. Now, we understand that you were there. You might have went there, played there, mama graduated. We don't care. Because when you come on this side of the track, no matter what track we talking about, you're here. And the reason why I just wanted to ask you that, because again, great show. First of all, I want you guys to, like I said, I got to promote this. Blue, boy, Coach Fred, my man T Buck, the Coach Terrell Buckley show. Is that every Sunday now? Is that every Sunday early?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna take a little break here before spring practice, but then we'll be back every Sunday during spring practice.
All I know is T Buck with Mississippi Valley down.
Every
episode T
Mr.
Buck
Campbell,
that Valley clean.
He wasn't wearing Valley before we recorded one episode. He made us pause the episode and went and changed, and we restarted it because he said he needed something Valley on.
I wonder why. Dang.
See?
So hold on. So
I just want to say this. Hang on, and also too, that show is not associated with Valley. Valley is not paying us to do it. Like, that's just T-Buck wanting to have a show, not associated with Valley. That's why y'all see no Valley logos on anything we do. That's the V Club. That's separate. Like, this is not sponsored by Valley. He said that he cannot be on that show without wearing Mississippi Valley State gear.
So here's the thing. So you mean tell me a coach at Valley, that Valley has the withdrawal to say, I'm going to sit here and rep Valley, a school with an all-time losing record against every school outside of Texas Southern in the conference. It's Valley. Their coach knows to put the school and prop it up and try to change the landscape and change the view of that school. But then Marshal Faulk don't? Okay.
I don't even need the logos, guys. I'm light. Like, I don't just, bro, they got 17 different shades of blue you could wear.
Bro,
just put some yellow on and put a blue shirt on. It don't matter what shade. It could be light blue, dark blue, navy blue. It don't matter.
Bruh.
You know, I just listen, and I say this because, again, and we're not being messy, but I just want it because I think, you know, people, and you, Blue, you've been in this space enough, and you and Guy, you've been able to dodge minefield. People have misquoted you. We know that. We've talked about that, me and you know, offline and stuff. But it was crazy that people were not listening to what Perry was saying and thought that was something controversial for it to even be a thing. For him to simply say, and you understood that because, again, you went to a Power 4 school, you went to, and listen, where you guys live and die Auburn football, and like my cousin Marcus McNeil play, and best your Obama, you better not come on that campus with Auburn gear. It's just part of it.
As the head coach of the football, like, it would be one thing, like, okay, so like, I don't need you just wearing it around your house, but every single time you're on camera, man, you should be and that's where, and I think, I don't remember which one of y'all said it, like, but even when Dion, remember when he went on the pivot, bro, that dude had Jackson State, the coat, hat, undershirt, socks, shoes. Like, I mean, it was Jackson out, Deshaun Jackson every single time. And it could be fashionable, but he's got custom jackets and all kind of Delaware State stuff, man. Like, there ain't no excuse. And like you said, guys, there's a closet somewhere on that campus at Southern where the head coaches go pick out what they want, man. Like, what are we doing?
That is, well, listen, now, Blue, you can't go because you're partner in crime again. and let me say before he says, this show has nothing to do with Scotty. Scotty is an official employee at Alabama A&M University. So anything that we have said does not reflect on him. Scotty, welcome to
boy Blue. What's going on?
Scotty, what's up, my man?
What's good? What's good, Zoe? What's good, Mr. Campbell? I'm gonna make this short and sweet, but again, I keep saying this, and I've said it from years and years and years. Dion put the blueprint out on what marketing at a celebrity looks like and what you're needed to have for FCS programs. Because again, you're trying to bring a spotlight to these. When you're hiring a celebrity, first thing you're looking for is spotlight, attention. Second thing is resources, and the third thing is wins. So again, it's the same thing I said about Vic. When he was doing all this stuff, I said it every single week. I was like, he goes on these platforms and he does not represent the institution that he's going to. But if he was at Virginia Tech, I promise you, he would be wearing a VT hat everywhere he went. He would be wearing a VT sweater everywhere he went. If Marshal Faulk would have gotten the San Antonio or San Diego job, or if he was at Colorado, he would have been, again, it's nothing wrong with having accountability to say, hey, respect our institution just as if you was at a PWI and how you would be doing it. Because I'm telling you, if the regular coaches, and you can say whatever you want about Nick and all those, compared to these Hall of Famers, they're not on the same level of status, except Nick Saban. Nick Saban's up there. But any regular coach understands the rule of engagement. When I step into these roles, I embody the school. That's what I am. Like, you're not going to catch Lane Kiffin wearing anything Ole Miss now. He going to be LSU purple and gold down. So I do not understand why alums or people feel like what Perry is asking of his head coach at his alma mater is too much. He's not asking a lot.
Scotty, I want to say something, and this is what I'm talking about. And I'll tell you guys something. You know, I love Scotty like a son. So Scotty has his job. So he updates his LinkedIn profile. You know, very proud of him. Scott, what the first thing I did when I saw your picture?
He called me, was like, that boy clean.
No. I'm talking about the picture that you're on LinkedIn and what I tell you to do.
Oh, I got to change it. I had to change it to a professional, more professional.
To your Alabama A&M picture.
Yeah.
Because you represent the school now.
Yeah. And I did it even with my Offscript junk. I got the Alabama A&M with the sweater on my Offscript profile.
So even you, that's what I'm saying, understand the assignment. And that's my point. Because you are representing that university. You know that picture people are going to look at. You promote the university. So my thing is, this is not a hard ask. What I think anybody's doing. This is not a hard ask. So, you know, for people to sit back here to make a big deal again, this is not something that we're, like I said, again, we're being very respectful because, I want to be very clear on this, because what I don't want people to do is misquote Perry, because I think Perry was right on point. Misquote us, misquote Scott Blue. It's just protocol. And I'm going to say this as somebody that loves all HBCUs. I want to see Marshal Faulk on the interview with Rich Eisen Southern stuff on. I want him to. So is that Vic?
No, this is Marshal Faulk. Marshal Faulk has more Colorado content on his IG than Southern. He only has that one issue logo. That's it. He got more content of him being the running backs coach of Colorado than him being a head coach at his first head coaching job. It's right there, right now, in real time. This ain't AI. This is me in real life. And this is what you get. And if y'all want to cap for this and not be outraged, because this is disrespectful to me. This is disrespectful to me.
And Mr. Campbell, I throw it back, in Zoe and Zach, I'll throw it to you guys. If Deion got the Florida State job, or if Deion got the Miami job, how quickly would he drop that CU stuff off?
Now see, you going where I'm going, bro. We restart my whole social media. Oh, that's off. That's off. The only thing that you're gonna see, unless it's something I get paid for, right? The only thing that you're gonna see, and people do this all the time, would be that press card. That would be the first post on my social media. Is that press card, and everything going forward will be SU. Everything going forward will be SU, because I want people to know that's what it is. Man. And again, this is not like something hard. All of us are alums, and I'm gonna say this again. How many times? And I think somebody said it. I don't know who said it, and it was somebody from Jack State. Again, you wear your gear, you can see something. And listen, and trust me, I've had this. I fly a lot and stuff like that. And the first thing I heard was somebody across the airport, y'all gonna be valid next year? Man, forget you, bro. Well, you know, come on, man. Because I got my family gear. You know, and it was a SWAC guy. You know, we chopped it up. You know, but that's what I'm saying, man. You're not gonna tell me it doesn't matter, bro.
But you know, even in my role, it's funny. You know, I got more HBCU gear than a little bit. Like I got more FAMU stuff, and it's all in the closet. Like I can't.
Oh, bro, you better not.
I can't. You get what I'm saying? Like I gotta put the A&M stuff in rotation. That's just what it is now, right? I got A&M hoodie, I got A&M shirts, I got A&M polos, but I got more FAMU gear than I'm probably on the level of Zoe with Jackson State gear when it comes to FAMU stuff, right?
No, Illuminati.
Come on, Illuminati. They would do to you. They would do to you like Prime had Prime said. What Prime said? You come in this with the other school gear, you getting fined, bro.
Listen, I walked in. I tell you, one time on Friday, you kind of saw casual, right? So I came in with my Claflin hoodie, right? Like Because I'm like, that ain't no harm, no foul. You know what I'm saying? It's Claflin. You know what I'm saying? I actually went there. One of the compliance officers, like, she's a FAMU grad. She said, Scotty, is that Claflin? I said, yeah. She said, boy, you better take that off. She said, you see, I got my FAMU gear in the back, but it's hidden. She said, you got to take that off and put some A&M gear on. Like, so again, even as the role that I'm in as external affairs, like, come on, like you're the football coach. You're the face of the program. Let's not pretend like we all don't know what football really is at these institutions. They are the front porch of the program, and you can't be seen wearing any gear from the school. And Zoe just had you pulled up, and you was the running back coach, repping like you the head. Like, that's crazy.
Unbelievable. Well, no, man. Like, you know, we'll see. I think he will get the message. Because, like I say, and I'm proud of Pear for standing on business. Like I say, Jaguar Journal every Saturday morning. He said what he said. It was very legitimate critique, because it wasn't a criticism, it was a critique. I want to be very clear on that. And, you know, this is what we have to have in these spaces and stuff like that, to hold people accountable. And like I said, if you come coach, listen, man, this is some of our coaches have found this out. When you come coaching our school, you're coaching our school now. You're part of our school. It ain't what you did.
I tell you what, because of all this stuff that's happening, y'all think y'all want Southern one of Terrence Brady's gone. Let Marshall Faulk start out 0-3 or 0-4.
Woo!
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. No one will care if he wins the SWAC next year, right?
Well, that's
People will forget. Yeah, but let him go 4-8 next year and lose to Bayou Classic and lose to Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah. Blue, and I'm going to say one thing, and then, of course, we're going to let you get out and we're going to shut it down. But the most important thing, because trust me, Michael Vick went 1-10, and guess what? We're still talking about he didn't wear no gear. That is part of all the people say. And again, right or wrong, this is what people narrative starts getting created. Did he care enough? Is he investing enough? This is where it's coming from. So this is moving from Michael Vick and it's moving right over to Marshall Faulk. And to your point, if he goes, you know what people are gonna say? Well, he wasn't invested enough. He wasn't, he wasn't all in for being Southern. He wasn't a Jaguar. And trust me, they're gonna say it. They're gonna say it. So now, man. Well, Blue, listen, man, I appreciate you, man. Listen, we're gonna definitely have you back on, closer to the draft, just to see what guys come on, man. Blue, tell everybody where everybody can find you, man, so we can go ahead and support everybody, all our channels. Go ahead, let everybody know where you at.
Man, guys, first off, I just appreciate the invite, man. What y'all are doing is dope, and I really, really hope y'all keep doing this, man, every week, because it is a great show. But find me on the Blue Bloods on YouTube, all podcast streaming platforms, at Zach McKinnell and at the Blue Bloods on social media, and then FCS Football Central on SI, man. You can find my content, Gerald's draft content, plenty of FCS content to go around, man. So again, I appreciate y'all.
There he is.
Appreciate you, Blue.
Zach McKinnell, Blue to the folks in the cookout. Thank you, Blue. Appreciate you. Zoe, hey man, listen. Another great show, Sipping on Sunday. We had folks. We gave him a little something to sip on tonight. What you think, Zoe?
Yeah, man. Look, as the SWAC turns, or as the HBCU world turns, because there's gonna be some more stuff this week. Y'all already know. So
they already
be back
know.
next Sunday. It's Sunday. You already know the week is gonna be filled with some stuff.
That's all it is, man. Listen, man. First of all, we want to tell everybody, man, thank you for joining us, man. Every Sunday, me and Zoe put this together, man. Because, like I say, once again, Offscript channel is still alive. Rocky Miller channel is still alive till football season comes on, man. Got my little brother Zoe. North Jackson is in the building, and we will be back next Sunday, man. And you know what? Put in the chat what you were sipping on, and then tell us what we need to be sipping on next Sunday. So you got Mr. Campbell, you got Zoe. This is Sipping on Sundays. Talk to y'all later.